and join some of the teams maybe in the survival stage. And join some of the teams.
And obviously for what we've been building up for throughout the season, throughout this year, back-to-back grinding for some opportunities to really arrive in Paris, France here at EWC 26. John, if it's taken away from you in the space of 12 games, it's going to be such a gut-wrenching feeling.
Well, that's going to happen. It is going to happen necessarily to at least 12 players.
Yeah.
Because 3 of these teams are going to be going home, as the desk was talking about before. It's, you know, Alula on that bubble right now, 33 points to 35. They need to jump up a little bit further. It's a little bit further to go for the teams beneath them as well, but it is still all to play for as we enter the back half of the day. Over military base, looks like we've got 3 teams dropping out. Goat will be heading on through, trying to make their way over to Novo. A very heavy west plane path.
Yeah, it is a bit. Ooh, shift on that as well. God, we've had some kind of rough circles so far. John, I don't know if you'd agree, mate. Past day, especially today again, it's been a bit aggro. This is one that I imagine for Goat team, you're probably going to look up and go, you know what, it's not that bad. We love a late rotate, guys. This is the dream.
Yeah, grab some of those hovercrafts, pull a KRX, send him to and get in late into the game, or at least try to. Looks like Flasher on the hunt. They've spotted 2 players in a buggy. Out of the window he goes. Wint for the spray down. Doesn't quite connect on the first one. Reload, leaning out the window. 3 players in the car, trying to chase them. But it looks like X-Force rejects are wily to it.
Yeah, Win looking for the lineup. Full gangster level plays as he leans out the back seat. With the boys tracking nicely. That's going to be the bonnet over the top of Reverb to get their first hard hammered in. So not ideal for reject, John. You've dropped into a field and you've been mowed over by a vehicle.
Far from it. Yeah, absolutely. Do want to be keeping all your players alive right until the very end, Jackie. That is a top tip for PUBG Mobile. But they are going to be playing on and right on the bubble as well in that 13th place position. It is rough stuff, especially given that they're one of the few teams who's already dropped up towards this north side, right? With 4 players, they have such a better opportunity with Severny to grab everything that they want. And if you guys want to grab everything that you want, make sure that you're joining the Uzumaki Naruto event to make sure you can get the chance to draw those beautiful skins that have been added to the game over the course of it. And see if you can take the top spots here. Well, you have to wait for that probably. Next qualifiers.
Yeah, maybe another year, maybe another time. But obviously for the squads that are battling it out right now, I do like the point that you established, the idea that for a team that was thankfully gifted a position that was far closer towards zone, you've got a quicker rotate to actually get yourself set up, find some safe ground, get yourself truly looted rather than just with scraps when things kick off and you're forced to run into a team on rotate. Well, that would be a lot easier if you had all 4 players. Even one at a pivotal point like this makes it far harder to actively fight. And reject, I mean, not, you know, being rude, John, they need the extra level right now. You need the full squad. 3 players, this is going to be a bumpy ride.
Yeah, they're only 2 points ahead. They definitely need to have everything playing to their tune if they can get it. Team Flash very happy to be able to add another point to their tally, try and solidify themselves in towards the top 5. Because of how the plane path was sat, it did exacerbate those vehicle drops, which is why you see that sort of conflict. And then trying to break out to the east, you kind of are going to expect it on a situation like that where you start all the way out on that northwest side. So yeah, brilliant stuff for Team Flash to be able to hunt that one down. I just hope they didn't waste too much time. It was pretty quick though, so I don't imagine that they have. They also have all of Yasnaya to be looting through. We are seeing the classic Enigma Galaxy send 2 out and see how far you can go. I'm expecting to see them in Kameshki in about a minute.
Yeah, this has been, well, you know, relatively working for them. It's been something they've adopted far more with a 2-2 split being a bit more proactive. We've seen that over the course of the flow of games today as well. Opportunity that they might run into some bystanders and possibly get a read on it. Avoid early interaction if possible with this setup. It's TTG just nearby, Ulf, and then Flash in the middle as well. Another squad that's there though, John, OG. Been looking a lot more exciting as the event's gone on. A lot of fanfare behind them.
Yeah, absolutely. They have really picked things up today, obviously taking that top spot right now, just about pipping fourth rights to the post for the time being, but there is still time to change that. Of course, again, very closely for position. But for both of these two teams, it's about that top 5. It's brilliant that you have that sort of step up for Orangutan, for Fourth Thrives. They have really been putting that pressure on towards the top of the tables, and it's been great to see that they've been able to ascend to such heights. But yeah, for Orangutan, they're looking much more coordinated today. They're looking like they really have it figured out in a lot of situations, I think it's safe to say. Quick refuel there for Fourth Thrives as I forget some target practice in. Getting ready for it. And I'm assuming, yeah, I'm just going to top that one up right to the tippy top, and off he goes. CRic-FIix on the road again. CRic-FIix was kind of crazy with it at the end of that last match, right? Sending forwards over towards, I think it was Enigma Galaxy to try and sweep through, obviously. No, sorry, it was Coops who took him down from Enigma Galaxy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really quite nutty what they were able to pull off there. Unfortunate that Coops did roll them down, but you can see why people talk about CRic-FIix the way they do from the play in the end there. I would say a little bit too much risk for my liking, but that's why I'm not in his shoes.
That's fair enough, man. I think, you know, at certain times you've got to dial it on, right? And if you can wreck yourself in those moments, we've seen when he does need to sort of realistically understand it's time to play a bit slower, be a bit more defensive, he can hit that switch. But he's so damn slick with it in firefights that, honestly, I'm pretty excited seeing him giving it. He started off day one with absolute fanfare of performance, and that's not gone anywhere. Chance they might run into some uncomfortable water, though. You got this wrap over the bridge from Aurora, CRic-FIix just up ahead, and 2 of the 4-man split from Nigma, not too far away either.
Yeah, still in Pachinki though, and if I know anything about them, they're going to stay there until Zone 2, and then see where they can go. Okay, no, they are on the road now, so they have finally looked to leave Pachinki. As we hop over on board with Geeke, they are currently moving out towards the east side of Roshok, trying to find a way to maybe have a chance to cross the river later on. It looks like Orangutan are further ahead in that pursuit, though, and that's going to make things difficult. Will cause a bit of a roadblock there. And instead, they post up in some of the buildings. At the moment, with the river as it sits, you're more going to look to prioritize the eastern side of this circle right now because it's so much more mobile. Teams out there are going to have the opportunity to send all the way north nice and quickly, or drop down south if it comes to it. But the teams around the river, they're going to be blocking each other. It's going to be a lot harder to move. It's very, very difficult to try and make that rotation. But sometimes that's just where you have to find yourself. That's just where you are going to end up going. But yeah, I'm looking at the teams on the east and thinking they're going to have a better time of it in towards stage 2 and 3.
Yeah, it's fair enough, man. As much as the ideal situation doesn't always present itself, sometimes you've got to just roll with the punches. We did see a little bit of a read there from Geeke as well. It's Ragnarok that's looked like he's actually kind of the spear of this team in situations where they want to instigate. He's always keen for a fight. Took some warning shots over towards OG. Won't really invest much into it, but info goes both ways. If they don't need to all-out brawl right now, they'll avoid that encounter. This is going to get spicy soon, though, John. A lot of space that's going to be taken away. Tons of squads getting neck and neck towards each other, and that's the crunch that comes in.
Yeah, keeps Yasnaya on the north side of this circle. Again, those teams out to the east side going to have better access to this one, but I'm looking at RRQ and wondering what their moves are here. It's a difficult spot for them. Do they try and force their way across the bridge? There's potential for them to get a good start, but as time ticks away, it's going to get less and less likely that they can make it unscathed. However, they have managed to send forwards a scout. And actually, the compound to the south of that bridge looks fairly uncontested. They might just saddle themselves with a really quite brilliant compound on the west side of those Yaz fields. Very, very central. And potential to backswing if they do need to end up going to the north side in a crazy circle shift.
Ooh, 10 points for that one as well. Lovely work there, John. He's probably damaged the vehicle a little bit in terms of resale value, but hey ho, for what it was a nice rotate right up the ramp.
You know what? A chicken dinner's worth any resale value drop, so we'll see if they can leverage that position over on the east side. Very stylish, though, and you're right. Yeah, style points definitely super important here. It's
pretty on brand for 4-5s as well, isn't it? Style from what we've seen. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bit of more of that. Right now they're looking over just towards the ridgeline. Got a bit of a read on TTG, but once again, you don't want to throw the first domino and have it blow up in your face. But Flash,
don't know what sort of dominoes you're playing.
They're really big ones, but they're full of those, you know, the things you used to buy from the penny shop, you throw them down, they blow up. It's like that. Yeah. Bangers, John. Bangers.
Absolute bangers. Let's see if we've got a banger of fight on our hands here between Team Flash and Gaming Stars. Win pulling the pin. It looks like the opener has gone well, but Bozy has already fallen as well. So it is not looking super healthy. You've got CRic-FIix also poking their noses in from the south side of this fight, Jackie, which is going to potentially force it into an uncomfortable scenario. Well, more uncomfortable than it already is, to try and find themselves locked horns now. Gaming Stars trying to rebuff Team Flash. Yeah, CRic-FIix are going to continue to just slyly creep around the wings of this.
Now on the periphery, keeping their eyes open. Swash going in. Ooh, trying to swing the broadsword there on contact. Top's good for one quick flash back. Rolex with the heavy artillery doing damage as well. So trading blows right now, but this is looking like a pretty good recovery for Flash, John.
Yeah, it looks that way indeed as Gaming Stars go down and Flash hold their nerve in the fight. Some really cheeky angles being held there. The two ghillie suits on the inside of the building, not going to matter too much, but it does probably feel a little bit more insulting when you see a little bush Wookiee coming around the corner, taking those shots at you. In the meantime, we saw a player earlier drop from X-Force Rejects. It looks like they may not find too much more luck out in the open as they rotate towards the Wizard Tower here. This is very, very central in those Yaz fields. It is completely isolated, and Saf G has nades for days. He's got one more, and he puts them to bed.
Man, that's clean. Straight on target, lines it up, knocks them down. 10 points for that one. As he'll be walking away with his head held high if this was basketball. Right now it's PUBG Mobile though, and they're living their movie. 2 elims chimed in. They did lose easy for Bad Boy, so it's a 3-man squad from this point forward.
See what they can get done with that. I was keeping track of the Enigma Galaxy rotate that we saw, the wide split. The forward duo actually rotated back around the side and re-injected from that south edge. And now Enigma Galaxy sit on the south side of this one. Should potentially have a pretty good position into the circle, but 4-Thrives moving in from the east side could make that difficult. This is an interesting rotate coming through from AGAL, right? They are actually going over the north side of the Yaz Lake, followed by Alula, but they're going to have to try and cross the bridge. It looks like that Roshok Bridge is going to be available for them. But are they going even further west? Okay, fair enough. If they don't have the scouting information, you might expect that Roshok Bridge could be sat underneath.
Yeah, I suppose the paralysis by analysis on that one, overthinking it just in case. We'll see if they take a bit of time for a slightly longer rotate on it. Right now, more of a scouting party mission to read things. Alula going to double back as well towards Yaz as they don't overcommit on the chase. I'm looking at this very slow rotate we've had from GOAT as well. This is more classic GOAT, John. They love just wasting the time, dialing it down. And a potential fight versus 4-5s is something where Killer Joe loves to stick his face into the mix. But look who gets the first knock. Falak out swinging.
And the flush as well comes on through. Falak on the broadside though, and a team flash to crack him open. And it will go down. Not quite getting the flush, but he's very, very low. Immediately IQ swings on wide. The spray down needs to come through, but the rest of Flash not quite in position. It was a cheeky pick, but I think they're going to be able to get Falak back to his feet. Zeus moves into an off angle though, and that could be the high ground they're looking for with GOAT in the wings. 2, there is danger on every front. Falak will be back though, and he will look to get some healing done. 4-Thrives look to maintain position on the east side.
Yeah, I want to see if they can really dig their heels in and hold on to this. Top's attempted to get a large dash on the nade, but not enough distance to hit that one. And on the double back, he's spotted out. Easy connections from Hooksy and Tree. That's going to be him left. Banged out in the field, John, as CRic-FIix clean up on that free elim.
No possibility of recovery there. Playing a player down now as well. 2 players down now for Flash. CRic-FIix looking to hunt down a third as Zeus heads out into the blue with his comrade. On the east side, really getting hounded out of town now. 3 circles in. We're about to see that next stage coming through, and as soon as you start getting knocked in the blue zone, it's not going to work out well for you. This central area, Ulf's compound, super important. with this next circle shift coming on through, if it heads out to the east, okay, it's going to guard a lot of access for the teams on the north, out to that west side as well. But I'm looking at Enigma Galaxy here, and I'm thinking they found themselves in a pretty solid spot, as have 4 Thrives. GK as well, holding down that area, could potentially be on to a winner. But Thundertalk, slap bang in the middle, might just have what they needed, because X-Force Rejects, they're down and out already. We'll see if they can make it happen.
Pot shots being taken towards RRQ as well, with Alula finally making their push down. We had that split from either side of the squads with AGAL. And Alula being thrown into the blender. RRQ attempting to get the shots on target. Furia third party as Chief starts to strike. And they might be able to clean up onto this as well. Force the issue back onto Alula following the damage they've taken from that investment, John.
Trying to recoup some losses. See if they can consolidate, re-engage a little bit stronger. That north side does need to conclude fast, though, because the circle has just started closing. AGAL on the west edge. That slow west side swipe is going to work out well for them in terms of staying alive, but the west insert may be a little bit more tricky. Ooh. On board with Furia as they take a tumble, but it's 1-for-1.
R3B, what can he do here? Closing the gap with the shotty quick switch to the primary as well. Tracing not quite on point to get the back tag off as Furia do dip out. But you can see the damage is already done. It's only a solo that barely might survive. Survive being the operative term, and not this time. Alula wave bye-bye to Furia as they are down and out.
And they say hello to the top 13 with that as well. The 7 eliminations they found, they are making that break for the survival stages here and now. In match 10, takes until double digits apparently, but an inch is as good as a mile when it comes to qualification. And that's what they're looking for. As far as they can go in this match, they will start to put a buffer between them and the 2 teams beneath them who have already been eliminated from this match, which is brilliant news for them. And they might be chasing down GK and potentially RRQ off this match.
Exactly, see how far you can force this one. Do not leave fate in the hands of the other squads that are nearby you, vying for survival within today's games here at Pmwc. Give it your absolute all and write history for yourself. We've got the POV of Force right now. There was that 2 split players at the further backside from FIix and Moxie that were watching the rear. They're going to move up onto him safely in the compound. AGAL not too far out either. Been a whole lot quieter from 4 Thrives, sitting pretty for some time. Alula, meanwhile, has been forced to fight. And it seems like, again, they are willing to do so. Brief opportunity to loot. Yasser further back. Vehicle taking some shots.
Do need to get that healing done nice and quickly. It's just not going to be quite enough. The play zone takes him down. Some tags coming on through. And he will fall. Unfortunate there to lose one. But yeah, for Alula, this may be as far as they can go. I was hopeful that they could find something maybe against Ulf pushing in nice and quickly from that north side. But yeah, the doors are starting to close. The windows too, locked and bolted. They're going to have to smash something if they want to break their way through. Falak now in contest again, peeking over the ridgeline as KRX may have their attention diverted down to the south side.
Oh, they're so low, though, from the sustained damage they're taking from outside of the blue and the pot shots. Even with R3B getting that tag into the back of KRX, they don't have the gap closed to get in their face and convert from it. It's just one man left, effectively. R3B, try as he might to get anything more here. At least make it a dire game for KRX. That was the closing play.
He does manage to get the knock onto Hoxie and Binny. Hang on a minute. Is he just... He's taken quite a hefty chunk out of the team there. KRX going to have to try and recoup something out of it because they do only have 3 players now playing into the match. The circle's going to push them away from their position. Ulf on the north side is a major roadblock for them as well. This 2-1-1 split that Ulf are holding right now, it feels a little bit greedy, but with Eren on the oversight, they know those knocks have come out to the east side. With Kalsi on that west side, they're trying to guard out Orangutan. I think the Kalsi will be the first to move if it comes to it, but Eren also needs to jet on in. Once they consolidate in their position, they're going to have a pretty good time on the north edge.
GK getting backstabbed as well from Aurora. Good shots there to be able to split the squad into only 2 effective players remaining alive. AGAL hunkered themselves down towards the ditch after taking a few shots on target from Nigma. Ooh, backstab though as Joel gets eyes on Ralph. This could be interesting, John.
You've also got Goat Team out of the southwest of this to potentially play spoiler to Enigma Galaxy if they get too embroiled to the north side. Ralph also does need someone to move out and pick him up. The rest of the team are further out to the northwest, and it might just be too far for them to go. Giving up on their compound, that's a really tricky decision to make, and Aurora and Goat are going to fight for the opportunity to take down the rest of the Galaxy.
The nade protocols have been good so far. Let's see if they can do it again. Aurora lining that one up. Good splash damage into the back. Force fighting from a distance. Moxie so low as FIix gets knocked. And Force living on a prayer there, but the double nade is enough to stop it. Only really Moxie that remains alive, but the nades don't stop, John.
Oh dear, that old Goat does need to try and stay alive as long as possible, but the bombardment continues, and Aurora stay alive with all four of their players. They're going to swing up towards the north side because CRic-FIix is engaged now with GK over the top of the ridge. Doc wants to get stuck in too. Maybe a little bit more reticent now, though, as CRic-FIix does have the challenge. Steps forward, SafG wins it, and Doc just wasn't there. The rest of Aurora, they weren't there either, and CRic-FIix will be the price that they pay. But is there an answer? Is there retribution? Zol looks to try and find one, but GK managed to get back behind the headland. A nade on in. Let's see if it's good. It splits the difference, takes down one more, and SafG now fighting for his life.
Anything but safe in the position he's left in. Trying to clamber over the top of the bonnet. Low on health, about a quarter of his HP remaining. Shots on target as well to keep things uncomfortable. No moment of respite. No opportunity to catch your breath. GK gone. Silenced on this one from Aurora. But other sharks are in the water, John, and they smell that blood.
Airing out in the open, not gonna matter though, because they've got backup. Doc takes a tumble. The knock is sent over their way. CRic-FIix are trying to scout out. Could maybe be dangerous for Ulf as they don't have their wits about them, but I'm hoping that they do right now. They will try and maintain that control over the northern side. Thundertalk Gaming have just been so quiet over the course of this whole match, Jackie. They've been in this position for a long, long time. They can stay there for a little bit longer, but I imagine you're going to have Aurora and Ulf on your doorstep pretty soon.
And that's not a collective that you want at your front door. It's going to get messy pretty quickly. Top with the eyes locked on as well for the exit side towards off. TTG just trying to keep their tails tucked between their legs, sitting pretty for at least an opportunity that's given to them. CRic-FIix that suffered heavy damage from that backstab. Alula making it uncomfortable did result in the downfall of Binny. So only a triple threat left. Vehicles for the rotate, but smoke coming out the bonnet.
Not the best of health, but you'll take it. It's the only thing on offer. CRic-FIix in probably the most difficult position here. Depending on their timing, though, because Fourth Drives and Ulf are both going to have to move. The question is, where do they target? And if you can find a cheeky little insert into the back of a third-party fight, something like that, CRic-FIix might have a better time of it. But it looks like Ulf are much more preoccupied with clearing out that backstop because they haven't taken that move just yet. And CRic-FIix might just be walking straight into the fight. They want to try and take it down, Jackie.
They want to get stuck into this one, battling down the ditch, but let's see if they can withstand the blows from Ulf. Scarface lines up one. Kaus buckles to Oxy. There's a reply from Falak as well from range onto CRic-FIix, so he's able to steal away some points amongst the interaction between these two squads. Panic stations now for Ulf. They've got to play medic, John, and Fourth Drives, their eyes are lighting up.
Fourth Drives are already setting out. They are on the hunt. Hazypher and IQ following this one down to the bitter end, as only remnants of these two teams on the north side will still be in action, and Hazypher is all too happy to take those points, push OG off the top spot as well, and they are back in first place. On board with them, they got 4 players alive, playing from outside the circle. They'll need to find a route in.
Living the dream right now. Further damage done. Meanwhile, we switch over to the POV of Aurora. Nice nades on target. Satan takes the brunt of the damage. Ulf still attempting to fight versus Fourth Drives, but they're silenced as they cut their way through them. Lord battles back on the top, up close. Ralph can't withstand the fight from Joel. Good play with a shotty, and he's got space to be able to calm this one down, John. Tuck into the limited cover. AGAL from the sideline, though.
Oh, getting stuck in. Sure, why not? Aurora down to 1. Just Joel remains. Doc is a goner. There is no way that he's going to get that player back up. Surely not. Has to try and play on this high ground. The zone will keep him in if he moves forwards to some of these trees, but going to stim up first, allow the blue zone to creep in. Doc, yeah, he's not coming back. That's going to be confirmed now. AGAL will take that point. Coops the solo for Enigma Galaxy, who ruined the day for 4Thrives last time around. Let's see if he's going to do the same thing here, but they are on opposite sides of the circle. Might be a little bit harder. Zypher, though, wants to try and get all over this circle. It's not going to go well, though. They do take a tumble. CRic-FIix down 2.
Yeah, this is looking brutal now. 2 players removed. It's all on IQ. Brains at the operation as he sprints through the smokes, looking to get a lineup onto them. Shotgun special, but not enough to deliver the payload, John. AGAL withstand the fight, shut down 4Thrives, and can they reset from this? No one in immediate vicinity to attack onto them. They might be able to reset cleanly. TTG advancing up onto Joel as well.
They finally found a second elimination. They can leave here. They are the only team with 4 players alive. The pickups coming through on the east side is going to potentially give them a threat here, but this flex out needs to go well. It's only against 1 player, but that 1 player is Joel. So we'll see if he's got anything left in the tank. They disengage from it. Interesting. Prioritizing staying in the zone, I guess.
Yeah, for TTG as well, right? It feels like you're in such a risky position in terms of the overall standings. You've got to get out there and give us a little bit more of that confidence, but still trying to grind this one out all the way to the bitter end. Keep themselves in the contest of a fair 4-on-4 firefight, I suppose. Thinking about AGAL as more their big competition than risking it versus Joel.
I mean, that high ground would have been great to try and suppress the rotation from AGAL for them. I feel like there's a lot of merit in trying to keep that hilltop going for you. You're right, it could have been dangerous, but I don't think you're going to win tournaments if you don't like the danger. And that's just not what's happening. AGAL making the cross against the duo from Enigma Galaxy, and that's how you want to hold. A nice little opening spray down, but 2 players unload right next to the compound. A third on the flip side as well. Maple looking to burn Lord out of position. Coops is half HP as well. Immediately catches him on the egress, and now Coops is looking for more, but what has he got left? Because Lord is down, and now Coops is the next to follow.
Really cleanly played there for a Maple. Nice setup with the molly, instant switch to the rifle to hold the angle. Joel, meanwhile, has been crouching around all the commotion, but he's found Jimmy, dispatches him, and we get into that final 4-on-4 head-to-head. AGAL looking slightly more green around the gills with a single knock onto the roster, leaving them with an effective 3 to fight back versus TTG. Jimmy already got a bit of his power rising off the back of the knock onto Joel. What more can he do here? Nades chucked out for defensive maneuvers. They're committing to get this res off, and there's no aggression to punish with the advantage.
The nades not quite connecting for Thunder Talk. This is sort of getting a little bit messy, but look at this flex out on the east side, sitting, trying to find an angle, but regroups back in. They're sort of putting themselves on the northwest side of this circle, and not as much pressure as they might need. They do know the full lay of this fight, though. They know where all of these players are for AGAL, so the full information is there. They would hear those vehicles. They would spot the runouts coming through. With Jimmy's angle there on the high ground, they might just be able to do something here. But 5 eliminations for AGAL, 3 eliminations for TTG. These are some fairly quiet games from these 2 potential winning candidates.
Scary as well, man, looking at the setup on the angle. I felt like that was your one opportunity, at least, where you had an advantage in the engagement. Now, as time ticks by, it was a nice setup from XEZ on the top side, just scanning over the periphery of the building. They've got nades to play with as well, so if you crash onto this, TTG are going to have a bumpy ride through, dumping some of the defensive utility out as well. A few Molotovs into the field.
Trying to hold on to a little bit more for later on when you get closer, when you get forced into known nade range. Much more tricky to hit it around the buildings. I mean, when you don't quite know exactly where they are, you can argue that it would be good to put them in now and maybe find an opening knock against AGAL, but they're going to look to try and levy that later on. Liu getting rezzed up there was a massive benefit for them. It means that they have this outpost all the way on an off angle. It's covering off so much ground and limits Thunder Talk's position really heavily. Not following through for that flush may have just been a crucial mistake for Thunder Talk.
On the other side of the coin, it's a play that could pay dividends for AGAL. This is the worrying duo setup as well. Zone crunching in. We'll see if Maple's forced to advance over the hard cover towards the fence just as it stops on the mark. XZZ still looking on the top side for the peek up, sitting on the door. That's the nades in as well, and you're starting to take damage here. The shoe could be on the other foot, John. It looks very uncomfortable from TTG, and the double nade on target. Flower and Maple blowing away too. Suddenly you were at panic stations.
Down they go with their backs to the wall. What more have they got? It's all up to Sing for ThunderTalk, but he does find an answer for one. Let's see if he's got any more. A 1 versus 4 would be necessary. He's going to start out well, but it's not going to go his way. ThunderTalk cower on the northwest side. They just are too timorous to take that one down, and instead, AGAL take the top spot. 19 points, 9 eliminations. A nice close down for them.
A big result in the final fight, and it felt problematic. TTG paying for placements for so long, hoping that it would pay off, but that one moment, John, where it felt like you had a chance to commit to it. It was the biggest opener they found in the space of that 5-minute final game sequence. Didn't commit to it, comes back to haunt them.
Absolutely. I mean, not committing to trying taking down Zjol's position out on that west side. I think that they could have done a lot more there to use that high ground. They would have been able to spot the AGAL run up towards the Nigma Galaxy duo. They would have been able to do so much more damage, maybe even flush Liu out, and then flex out towards the east side. They had such a massive opportunity to do that with Sighting moving into that area earlier on. It felt like they kind of threw that one all away, to be honest, Jackie. And when you're at the bottom of the tables, you need to be throwing caution to the winds, not throwing it into the bin.
Yeah, it's brutal, man, because obviously that's the thing, you know, it's everything to gain, nothing to lose in those kind of moments with how close we are towards the end of the day too, being down towards the bottom side of the standings. An opportunity present itself, but the indifference there, that paralysis of just overthinking the situation twice towards the mid-game, and then like you said with the late game as well. Yeah, it feels like that's kind of the difference maker, man. You know, hindsight's 20/20, John, but in those moments, a new pair of glasses may be needed.
Absolutely, or at least contacts at the very least.
Yeah.
Because they need to be seeing clearly. Some shifts coming through towards the bottom of the tables as well. Some players, some teams rather, jumping up to try and get into the survival stages. A couple of our teams towards the top as well, making a bid to confirm themselves, to lock down one of those 5 direct Grand Finals qualification spots. So really interesting. Moving out of Erangel now, we're going to be moving over to Miramar. I'm very excited to see what our teams are going to bring to the table on this one. The desert is going to be more rotationally focused. We say that all the time, right? So hopefully the smarter players are going to be able to bring something to bear. Who has got the brains behind the brawl?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to need that large IQ to help you get through these kind of games. These are our replays from the final moments on that one as well. Of course, ThunderTalk, like you said, you had one opportunity on the engagement, though. It was a nice knock from AGAL, and then they just ran through with it, John. The nade opener absolutely crippled them.
我头顶一个，往右手一个，走吧。可以控，我能过来。不用手倒，最后一个，我右手倒，重新一个，不用急，他没去，他要失去。过来了。
Solid comms, they knew what they'd done already.
我来。
As soon as the comms go silent, you know that they've got it locked down.
Yeah. Seemed happy, seemed confident with how they played it overall. Good shutdown towards the end. I like the position as well, where we had that 2-2 setup. Yeah, XZZ basically just on the top side, looking over the ledge of the hut. The way you had Liu as well further out, like you mentioned, just giving them so much more map control that really did give them that extra edge.
Yeah, well, that is what you need to try and find. I mean, how many nades were in the pockets, do you reckon? 4 TT, right, when they went down. It felt like they could have used that utility a little bit earlier on. Sure, it's not like the perfect place, but I don't think such a thing really exists when it comes to this. You do just need to be throwing those down range. There was more that they could have done. It was not to be. And credit to AGAL for being able to leverage that advantage, right? They were able to read into that. They were able to send out, right, and grab their player back up because they felt, oh, yeah, they're not putting pressure on us. Let's just go for it.
I know that's the thing, right? It does kind of feel like we're really egging on this one point, but when you look back at it in hindsight now, that was the pivotal moment of it's the big edge they had. Following everything else that went on from there, John, there was no advantage taken. It was very sort of, cowsome in the setup they went for, hoping that effectively they'd find a pick on contact. It doesn't go that way when you're eating shrapnel. So yeah, the one opener that did give them an edge, not followed through on. That indifference certainly hurting them in these games.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the rotations around that west side as well worked out well for them, right? Because remember, early on, I was talking about AGAL. Oh, they're going all the way out west.
True.
And they were later into the zone. They played a slow game. They played the only team really to go for that sort of thing. And it's obviously worked out well for them in this instance. But I feel like if another team was in ThunderTalk's position, might not have been as easy. But either way, they do manage to make it work. So yeah, very, very smart stuff coming through from AGAL. looking to try and get one of those spots for themselves as well. I'm loving how close all of this is, Jackie.
I know, it has been exciting, right? Obviously a little bit different to the usual spin of things when we're at such a prestigious event like this with the back-to-back games. The fact we're going into a day two with a risk of not only having teams qualifying through, having that sort of, our dream moment, this is great, but the sheer defeat, the sheer panic of sitting there and realising that's it, 2 days of play and it's over, mate. You're thinking about airports, John. You're not thinking about trophies, about the history, about actually giving that solidarity to your organisation with a big result after what's been quite a grind to get here for some of these teams.
I mean, at the end of all of this, right, we do crush the keys, but if you're in this sort of situation, you can't let your mind be crushed already. There is still an opportunity, I think, for any team to make it into at least survival stages, given how we were sat before this. And for the final 2 matches to be so important is pretty important. It is going to be good news. We're going to be jumping down for an interview with Al-Ola.
Yes, we do. I've got Cric here from Al-Ola Club Esports here for a very quick interview before we go into our final 2 games here on the Qiddiya City Grid. Sandstorm, thank you so much for joining us as well to help translate. Cric, let's talk about what the issues have been so far over the last 2 days, or the points of contention. What's been stopping you guys from gaining momentum over the past few days?
اول شيء شكرا على تواجدك معنا كويك، وحابب اسالك بخصوص الاداء خلال اليوم الثاني. احكي لنا ايش المشاكل اللي عم بتمروا فيها؟ يعني بين انه مو عندكم مثلا اي نقص بالامكانيات او القدره، لكن يعني في عندكم مثلا نقص من ناحيه الفرص انكم تبنوا عزم في المباراه، فايش المشاكل اللي عم بتمروا فيها؟
والله المشاكل يعني ما عندنا مشاكل انه استراتيجيه وجن سكيل، عندنا يعني كل شيء موجود، بس عندنا انه نحتاج ندخل بالجو، وجاي ندخل بالجو، وان شاء الله الجيمين الباقيه انه راح نأدي اداء ونتأهل.
I want to say it's not that we have an issue when it comes to our tactics, our strategies. We just need to get into the flow of things. And with 2 games left, we're hoping to be able to get into it and get it done within the next games.
I mean, speaking of getting into the flow, even that last map on Erangel, you guys appear to have better flow, better pacing. You coming down through the north side of Circle, obviously it pulled away from you guys. You took out Furia, everything seemed to be good. And then the pacing slowed down. What happened?
هلا بخصوص المباراة الماضية كان مبين انه في عندكم يعني بوش قوي من المنطقة الشمالية، قدرتوا تشيلوا فريق فيوريا، كانت سرعتكم كويسة، لكن بعدين بطأتوا وتم إقصائكم بالزون. فايش كانت المشكلة وقتها؟ هل مثلا كانت روتيشن بطيئة، ولا ايش المشكلة اللي مريتوا فيها في الجيم الماضي اللي تم إقصائكم من وراها؟
خدنا قرار نشيل RRQ، بعدين دخل علينا تيم فيوريا وقتلناهم، بس اول ما خلص الفايت انه ما عندنا وقت نجمع انفو ندخل على الزون. رحنا يمين شفنا كوتيم ضغط علينا، رحنا بوجهنا لقينا تيم، رحنا يسار تيم لازم علينا، ومتنا من كثر الضغط علينا بالسيارات.
After we were able to make the push and take down Furia, we tried to rotate in multiple different positions, but every direction we took, there was always another squad waiting for us. So yeah, the fighting did benefit us, but it was a little bit late towards the end. So yeah, it became just too difficult for us to actually find a place that was open and wasn't occupied.
Yeah, I mean, going into these final 2 games now, it's kind of crunch time, isn't it? You're in that bubble of potentially going into the bottom 3. You're currently out of it. Are you going to be able to stay out of that bottom 3 spot? And how are you guys feeling? Are you feeling positive for these next 2 games?
هلا بقى عندكم اخر مباراتين، اخر فرصتين عشان تقدروا تتاهلوا وتكونوا موجودين ضمن حاجز التاهل للسرفايفل ستيج. فاحكي لنا على كيف احساس الفريق، كيف شعورهم، وهل جاهزين، وهل عندهم الامكانيه انهم يضلهم متواجدين ومتاهلين للمرحله الجايه من البطوله؟
شعورنا دائما انه نحو الافضل، انه ايجابيه وما عندنا اي سلبيه، انه احنا نقدر راح نتاهل، بس عندنا مشاكل نريد نحلها، وها هي ما يعني متاهلين الثقة موجودة، الحماس موجود، كل شيء موجود.
I want to say as long as we are in the right mentality and we have the right we're in the right state of mind, we can accomplish what we want to, and hopefully within these last 2 games, like I said before, we'll get into the flow of it, and we believe that we have the ability to qualify, and we'll prove it in the last 2 games.
I like that, a bit of positivity. Thank you so much, Cric, for joining me in this interview. Sandstorm, you're a legend. Thank you so much. We have another interview here on the Qiddiya City Grid before we throw it over to the studio, so let's go over to that one.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much, Barney. I am with Eren, one of the superstars, the young superstar from Ulf here, to talk about some of the games that have gone on so far here for them. And my question to you guys is, obviously, it's been a bit of an up and down results so far from you guys. What do you think about the overall games from today, as well as your performance?
Bugünkü maçlarda yine iyi performanslarınız da oldu, kötü performanslarınız da oldu. Genel olarak bugünü biraz değerlendirebilir misin?
Bugün çok iyi de oynamadık, çok kötü de oynamadık. Ortalama puan çektik bence. Çok hatamız var. Onlardan ders çıkarıp son 2 maç inşallah iyi puan çekeceğiz.
As you said, we had ups and downs today as well. But we know our mistakes and we hope to learn our lessons from that and finish on the top in those last 2 games.
So let's talk about that then a little bit. Obviously, a lot of top fours from you guys so far, but no wins, no chicken dinners just yet. But we're used to knowing that Ulf is always a contender for number 1 and always able to get them chicken dinners on the board. So will there be any adaptations in these next 2 games, or what are you expecting?
Henüz bir win almadınız ama Ulf'u biliyoruz, her zaman 1. sıraya zorlayan bir takım. Top 4'de de çok oynadınız ama hiçbir win gelmedi. Bu son oyunlarda stratejinizde herhangi bir değişiklik olacak mı?
Yani bir değişikliğimiz olmayacak. Aynı oyunumuza devam edeceğiz. Sadece hatalarımızı telafi etmeye çalışacağız.
We will only keep playing our own game and we will try to learn our lessons from the mistakes that we made.
All right, fair. Thank you very much, Aaron, for joining us here. That is us done for here down on the stage. Time to head back into the games here for more Pmwc.
Trav to give us a little bit of some insight into what's been going on, because you guys are already 3 days into your group stage, so break it all down for us.
Yeah, as you say, we're in day 3 at the moment, which means the brackets have kind of reset, the groups are back to the start, and the players are on the same standing again.
Okay.
But the same can't be said for some of the clubs. Team Falcons coming into day 3 of competition with 3 players left alive. They came in with 4, so lost 1 along the way, but other than that, the biggest competition, you're looking at Twisted Minds.
Sure.
Arslan Ash has pretty much done everything you can in this game, so he's just 1 EWC win away from being the GOAT, and that is just a crazy statement.
That's huge.
But over, obviously, we see AGL competing across quite a few stages this week. Zubair is one of the favourites to take this competition now.
Ooh.
He beat the favourite in his group. So he's kind of taken that pole position at the moment, and I'm really liking AGL to go far here.
That could be massive.
Exactly. And like, obviously in the position they're in on the club championship leaderboard as well, a couple of big wins, they'll be leapfrogging above the rest. Vitality, however, haven't had the best couple of weeks, to be honest with you. They've put all their faith in one player, Jean Ding. So it's a question of whether or not he's going to be able to get it done. He's been looking kind of hit or miss so far, but obviously with it refreshing and being now in the similar standing, he might have a chance.
So this could be really interesting when it comes to our club championship standings. Obviously, like you mentioned, we've got AGAL in 3 out of the 4 stages this week. One of the teams we're paying attention to in PUBG Mobile, you mentioned Vitality. We've got them. We're going to see them tomorrow kind of to kick things off for their group as well. So lots of these clubs could get some massive points this week, kind of shake up the overall leaderboard, because so many clubs are chasing Falcons right now at the tippy top of it. So still lots of action left in store for all of you at home. And of course, when we have some winners, some more points on the board, or some big changes, we'll make sure we're keeping you updated on all of it.
See, I told you Glitter will be able to deliver with the club championship updates. Also, shout out to Trav for letting us know what's going on his stage. But I'm joined by none other than Mr. Black. He went from casting and now here at the studio with us. And none other than Neptura as well, the 7WG. We got to talk about that last game. AGAL putting themselves in contention for that top 5, Neptura.
Isn't it nice? It's so nice. I mean, we've been wanting AGAL to do something for how many games has it been? 8 games so far? Something like that? Yeah, 10 games, even worse. No, they're doing a very, very good job. I am enjoying what they're doing. But to go in a little bit more in depth, right, I really liked how they did that South wraparound. And I think that's really going to be something that we're going to see, hopefully, from them a little bit more as they're being able to actually, you know, think outside the box a little bit, do those wraparound rotations, able to see those opportunities and do it all over again. So maybe in Miramar, it will be happening. But 19 points, I think that is the incentive that they need to do that again.
Yeah, solid from AGAL to maybe, hopefully, they'll be able to make it to that top 5. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen in those upcoming final 2 matches. One team that we actually ended up seeing there that they ended up getting good placement points, but not eliminations. Thunder Talk Gaming. Absolute bless, but honestly, does nothing with it.
Yeah, bro, why did it take the weaker Chinese team to let the stronger Chinese team win? What was that about?
I don't know.
That wasn't cool.
Thunder Talk Gaming was camping insanely. They were there for the longest time.
Okay, I don't think you can call it that though, because you came out, you said X-Force in heaven, we're not camping.
I didn't say they were not camping. I say it wasn't just lucky, though. They were holding off people. What do you mean? They were holding off Furia. They were holding a bunch of other people.
Yeah,
but for this one, Thunder Talk, they were legit.
Okay. I agree with that. I mean, to be fair to Thunder Talk, though, they need some points. Okay, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
You gotta do.
Okay, you can't hate too much.
No.
I tell you what I do hate, though. I'll tell you what I do hate.
What do you hate?
I really do not like Enigma Galaxy's push onto Volcano versus Aurora. That was a throw. That was probably the biggest throw I've seen quite some time, actually. There was no reason to leave where they left from. And I mean, if we even just roll the tape back to what we were just watching just then, AGAL won from when Enigma Galaxy was playing.
That's true.
Like, we could just sit there all day. We could sit there all day, twiddle our thumbs, and we would have won the game. All right? Aurora has to come off the ridge side into playing view. Got shot by someone else. So I don't really understand the call there. And we're still hitting these strange 2-2 splits. I think sometimes it works really well. Other times, not so much.
Yep. In that one, it didn't work whatsoever if you are Enigma Galaxy. One team that does need the points and was able to put up good points there in the last match was Alula. I really enjoyed the way that they were able to kind of rotate towards the north. And right now, we're seeing an amazing performance out of this squad that's trying to make it to survival at least.
Yeah, it's a really nice play. I was watching them versus RRQ, I think, over in the garage area. And it was actually really, really nice to see that aggression come on through. It was a very strong sort of presence that they put themselves into, moving into the garage area over there, because it wasn't a direct push. There was a solo of RRQ in the garage, but it wasn't direct full-on push onto an opposite team. It was just such a strong presence with those vehicles that it was like, hey, we're actually going to be doing something. It's intimidating for the other teams. That's what you want to see from teams more often. And yeah, Alula did a really great job of that.
Well, I think this lobby is quite well balanced so far. Seven. It's very well balanced.
Very.
The thing is that there are some squads where the gameplay feels a little less intentional overall. That's what kind of worries me in a big way at the moment, is that for OG, I do think there has been some times where, you know, they'll find a good spot, they have some good rotates in, and then it feels intentional from there onwards. Like that's a passivity that they go for, and it tends to reward them in the late game. Yeah. I want to see a bit more proactiveness from them in future, because I think that could really help improve their score lines. But right now, they're absolutely fine. There's no reason to change. There are teams, on the other hand, like we're looking at RRQ, they feel like a team that's been forced to make plays. It doesn't feel intentional, and then they're winning off the back of some gun skill. And I think, honestly, Lepar is massively propping up that team at the moment, because he has some really good clutch moments. But it comes off the back of, ooh, did we really want to be here? Now Lepar's going to have to clutch up.
Yeah, it's true. I think you're right there. It's like, and I'm seeing it from a lot of teams. I'm just trying to think of like all the lobbies that we've seen, all the groups, all the teams rather. It's kind of a lot of the same thing. I think OG in the beginning were doing it as well, right? Not so much today, but certainly yesterday it was a little bit of a, let's see what happens if we go here and then see what happens. You know, it's not proactive. Yeah. It's not, there's no plan to it. It's just kind of a bit random. And I think a few teams have been doing that. Like,
For OG, they're not going to be that upset, all right? They ended up with the first place. Third place, fourth place. This is just something that they're going to keep on improving. And going back to Alula, something that I actually really want, I was hoping you would end up pointing out. I really enjoy how long they took to rotate in because they were making sure that there was going to be nobody behind them. I really enjoyed that out of them, which kind of allowed them to do that fight that you were talking about with RRQ. Another squad that we actually been seeing now step up as we're seeing the battle there for first place is 4Thrives. 4Thrives with those 2-2 splits.
it was very nice. And 2-2 splits are their big thing. The 1-3, the 2-2, they love doing it. And we saw it in some really good form there in that last game. I really enjoyed that. Very strong. Again, the same point I was making about Alula is the same for 4Thrives. Again, they're intimidating the rest of the teams. They've woken up in this game and gone, right, there's 2 games left. We would like to be in first place. So we're going to be more intimidating, playing those mind games, being very strong, not necessarily going full aggro, but being intimidating. Look at what intimidation gets you. 4Thrives, 92 points.
Not even just intimidation, just being proactive and making sure that they don't let anybody push up on them as CRic-FIix was trying to. But 4Thrives right now overtakes that first place. Orangutan still in that second place. Congratulations, Orangutan. You're going to be going to the finals. Aurora came in there in that third. And now we're going to be looking at that 5th place and that 4th place because I want you to see how close it is from 4th place all the way down to 8th. It's just 11 points, which honestly, it can, even through this, even through Ulf as well, they can make that jump, Blank.
They can. I think for Ulf, there's a big opportunity here at the end of the day to make it happen. I wasn't massively impressed with Erin's answers there, though. There was a lot of, we can learn from our mistakes, we can learn from our lessons.
Yeah.
What are those lessons? What are those mistakes? Do they even know what those mistakes and lessons to be learned are? And I think that's a struggle thing for me to listen to, really, because I think Ulf, they have good gameplay. Even watching them Erangel on Airstrip, that was really nice. They had a great setup. It's very creative at the end of the day. But I think Ulf, they have these special moments here and there.
Yes.
Right now, I just don't think we're hitting those yet. Ketch isn't really on his A game. I think Erin's doing a lot of heavy lifting. Scarface, funnily enough, despite having not these massive pop-off moments, he's coming in clutch right now. But Ulf can do it. For Nigma Galaxy, I really do want to see them get into top 5.
Yes.
They have looked very disappointed throughout these 2 days, which I've been, a little bit unhappy about because I'm like, guys, you've been playing very well at certain points in time. I want that team atmosphere to be a little bit up. You've got Coops with you. He's doing phenomenal work. Hype your boy up a little bit. That's all I want to see.
My boy, Coops! Because honestly, he has been performing so well. But before we go into the next 2 matches, we're going to be sending it to Kalaris and the man with the big energy, Hadouks!
That is very correct. We got Miramar on the way, and we want to talk a little bit about that. I've got Hot Jukes with me to talk about it all and how it's going to go down. Obviously, with only 2 games remaining here, Jukes, some of those teams on the bubble, they've got to make moves on one bubble or another.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's what it's all about here. It's top 5 or bottom 3. That's where our eyes are locked because everybody in between is going to that survival stage. But you're right, we're going into the desert, baby. The last 2 matches, and that is where you got to clutch it up. One team I got to talk about right off the rip is Go Team, right? They won the second to last Miramar yesterday. The one thing, though, was that they land in that El Azahar area. Both circles and both matches ended up going down to that Los Leones region. So I think that was advantageous for them here, but the zone could go anywhere. Here, can they repeat that? They're going to need to because Nigma Galaxy is going to come from.
I think they did such a good job, west side of Impala, to be able to have which compound that they did and then be able to rotate south on that. So that was very, very impressive. On the other side of the bubble, though, I want to talk about GK just a little bit, right? Because they started off the entire tournament for their group stage so far with a win. And since then, it's slipping here, slipping there. And I would like to see GK do a little bit more. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was really demoralizing for them in just that other match where it was down in military base. They had such a great position and they were not able to put any shots on a team flash at all. Yeah. They took it and won the game for that spot. So it's all about, you have to adapt, right? You're at the biggest stage ever. You're live here in Paris. You got to be able to calm down, settle down, and make it happen no matter what.
Well, between you and Jackie, I'm never escaping the GOAT team subject here from all of this. All right, no more barring, no more barring. It's time to head over to the commentators here for the 2 last games of the day.
Hey, look, we don't lie, James. We don't lie. Me and Jukes know what's up. It's all about GOAT, baby. They're going to be out there swinging, but it's Miramar time. And I got someone that I describe as a GOAT sat right next to me. And it's not because how he looks. It's because he's the best at casting. Get in there, John.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah, that's right, buddy.
I was looking on the other side of you. I was like, what's going on there? Is someone else sitting on the desk with us? No, he's being very kind to me.
I know.
That's a very strange feeling, but thank you very much. We are going to be heading into Miramar Lickety Split, and it is Hubble Bubble, Toil and Trouble. 5 teams will go forwards and 3 will fumble their opportunity to make it towards even the survival stage. And down towards the bottom of the tables is looking mighty dejected so far. And it is starting to open up a bit of a gap, a 6-point gap between 14th and 13th on that bubble. Towards the bottom of the tables, that's pretty significant.
It is. That was kind of slick with it as well with the wordplay, John. You were giving me some nursery rhyme type beats there, and you're spot on because it will be a crime for some of these teams if they don't get through because they can't make dimes here in PUBG Mobile World Cup, and that'll be a travesty. But with 2 games left, you got to smarten up quick.
Make sure that you're getting in and amongst it. You cannot afford to be timid, to be timorous, to be shy, and back off when you have a knock to play around, you know?
That's kind of remind me.
That's kind of, well, look, you know, as long as it's still in my memory, it's going to be in yours too, because it is a real stain on that one. Plane path goes from Minas del Sur over towards La Coplaria up on the northwest side. Fairly chill on this one, waiting for the circle to come on out, and I'm waiting to observe any hot drops, but it looks like for now, we're going to be kind of chill. Picardo, though, could be dangerous if Thundertalk do drop down, because 4 Thrives are on top of on top of it, in and amongst it, but no. Talk, we know what they like to do, and it is get away from other players in the lobby.
You got it in twice in the intro, but I can't believe
I've just got to twist that knife.
I know, you really are. You're turning it, you're twisting
Second
it.
place isn't first place, is it?
Yeah, I mean, technically. Second to lose, I suppose. Or first to lose.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll take it.
Something like that. We'll run the numbers. That's not our role. That's Max.
No, it's not. It's not Max. Oh, dear. They're on the road again with a big bang. They're going on through. It's the GOAT team heading on up on the South Coast Road. Going to potentially move in over towards Puerto Clarice and Impala, that sort of area of the map. But the plane path being on the west and the circle being on the northwest is going to make things tricky. But if you want to make things as untricky as possible, make sure you're grabbing those Naruto skins. You saw that flash up on your screens. Jump on into the game. Make sure you go for those draws because you can look mighty fine on the battlegrounds.
Oh, yeah, you can look pretty damn slick. Come out there styling on fools with your plays with the mad skins that they've got. Wonderful collab. Everyone's very excited about it. So like John said, make sure you're checking it out and getting your solo peepers spotting it in-game today. And of course, we'll be using our eyeballs to tell you the lay of the land with the teams here. Give you a run through of everything that matters as we get close. Going into the next game, obviously, it'll be a little bit more deliberation, right? We'll know kind of what we're looking like. Top spots, obviously, being drastically important. Skip survival. And then the bottom side of the pack, because otherwise, John, it's not even a matter of survival stage for you. It's just outright goodbye, good night from the event. Yet to come, really, but it might get a bit defined from this very game of Miramar here.
Yeah, if we're going to see early falls from X-Force Reject, Thundertalk Gaming Stars, it may just be a death sentence for them to try and make their way forwards. Obviously, there is always those mathematical probabilities because technically you can get 60 eliminations in a game and get a chicken dinner, which gives you a 70-point match. But I've never seen it happen, Jackie. Not legally, anyway.
No, but you can't see air, and they say that it exists. So you never know, John. That's the funny thing. But hey, probably not, eh? Because that would be crazy.
I hate that you've just said that to me. Because it's right. But only if you're talking about the visible spectrum of light.
Yeah, I mean, like, we can prove it exists, but...
Yeah. Can you? Can you prove it exists?
There's a fan next to you. That seems to be moving somewhere.
You don't know what it's doing.
I can feel it.
If you can't prove air, how can you prove fans, you know? You've got to start from the basics. 1 + 1 = 2. Thunder Talk Gaming can't close out a game. That's the sort of situation we need to be starting from. That's the foundational elements of this universe.
Well, someone's giving you some funny juice today.
Hey, you know what? I had to do a lot of exercise.
You did actually, yeah. Fair play.
I'm going a little stir crazy with it.
Yeah, you work quite
cardio,
mate. You know, no one saw the full takes of those as well. There's about half an hour of unedited footage of John getting that clip done. So
I was rehearsing as well.
You were. Oh, it was good to see though, bud. Honestly, I think your rotations would be on point now. The amount of stamina you must have built up.
I've lost it all. I used it. I burned through that candle very, very quickly. Let's take a look at the lay of the land now, because it looks like X-Force Rejects with a chance to take a fight against Ulf. And remember, X-Force Rejects, one of those teams in danger. Reverb is down and out of there. So already a poor start for our bubble team.
Yeah, not ideal. That one's going to get popped instantly. Akin to bursting in the verbiage we're using here, which isn't what you want if you want to try and rise up and actually get yourself out in that danger zone. Devil up top side with the Mini 14 as well. Alula, we were singing their praises previously. They started to build a good amount of energy. Some of the fights we saw from them actually look good as well. R3B, that awkward encounter versus KRX, so far away in terms of distance, but hitting beautiful shots. So mechanically, individually, John, he looked like he was hitting some great form. Rest of the squad comes alive into this one. It could be a good reset. We heard in the interview as well, you know, yeah, there were mistakes, but we can fix things. We're going to come out on top. Would love to see that proven true.
They definitely want to. A lot of power from that last match to see themselves up towards the survival stage. Zone right now on 41 points. They're in a decent spot on this map, up towards La Cobreria. They do need access to the hills to their south, and if they can win a fight with X-Force Rejects, that would probably be one of the best case scenarios for them, right? If they can take control of the Cric-Filx area, get some of that high ground under lock and key against one of their main rivals. There's very few better positions for a team to be in than to be able to find a little bit of confidence right now. That is going to be weighing heavily on the minds. Everyone sat around them. Enigma Galaxy moving in from that western side. RRQ as well could potentially try and jump into the mix there. Orangutan as well have access to those Cric-Filx hills, but we've got a little bit more time before we see things go really loggerheads. We've only had that one casualty so far.
Yeah, moving up. Obviously, from what we saw, it was a little bit stale from some of the hits, more just getting stuck involved into fights when it was forced upon them rather than taking the initiative necessarily themselves. We'll see if that will change here with the approach down towards the compound now. Having a bit of a loot up. Satan not too far away. no real read or need to engage onto each other yet. So opportunity to at least get themselves armed without an over-investment. Visual contact there as well. You can see the vehicle driving away. So Satan will clear distance.
Gets a little bit of a wider berth around the roadblocks. For Enigma Galaxy, they're very central on this already. Goat team, really not so much. Already out in the blue, over towards Impala. Coming in from that eastern side for Goat team, they are going to need to get towards it, but it's still very, very early days, especially here on Miramar. Waiting for the second circle can often be pretty impactful on a Miramar. Wait for that small shift and try and play for it later on. Get a little bit more looting done out on that east side. We saw Goat team dropping out and moving quite early on, so the looting phase will have been a little bit offset. Hopefully now, though, they are on the road, and I believe that they are, to try and move in, potentially sweep all the way up to that north side. Could inject towards water treatment over past Cruz de Valle, but there is Geek in the way in El Azahar, so it could potentially be an unexpected blockage in the system for them. The next zone will reveal itself fairly soon, though, so we'll see what they opt to do with that new information once it's revealed.
Yeah, see what we're cooking with, and this one gets a bit of a shift on the go. Obviously, those later rotates coming up. Condense is relatively central, filling slightly down. So most sides still within a fairly comfortable amount of territory. Water treatment going to be cut out, so you're going to be giving that up for CRic-FIix and looking for an advanced path. You can see Geek advancing a bit quicker now as well, speeding up on their rotate through the roadside with Goat in relatively close by contest. And then that chance for AGAL to potentially bump into Aurora on the late advancement.
Trying to push in on that south side. There are other options for AGAL here. Maybe not wanting to go past Montenuevo. They could send up, maybe try and play up towards El Pozo or swing even further north, but you know this side of the map's going to be really heavily occupied. It's a difficult approach, so going straight through may just be the best option available to them. Geek sort of slowly trundling over the hillsides, and Goat have spotted them now. Moxie hops out, looks for the shots, but doesn't quite take it. Doesn't have the lineup with the rest of the team to confidently get a knock, and you don't want to overexpose here. You don't want to be losing players like this, especially with how tenuous Goat team's position is in 5th place.
Yeah, and it's not something they generally tend to force the issue on either. Historically, even with the roster being a little bit different to what I'd seen in the past, on Miramar, they were pretty good with late rotates. It's something they really enjoy playing, right? If they can avoid early game fights, they're going to be building into a big finish. It tends to work well for them. That sort of situation, maybe with the tumble from Ragnarok, if he had a clean shot, could have got an opening pick there, tried to build off it. Not worth the risk from the angle they were left in. So late chase, calm it back down. That's more the Goat style. It'll give Geek a window of opportunity to get into the zone. Is that Reject getting a knockover onto 4-5, John? There we go.
I believe it was, yeah, but they're a little bit too far afield to really confirm onto this one. And not only that, but X-Force Reject really cannot do too much to get out of their position now. This is that high ground position that I was talking about with Alula atop it, but actually Enigma Galaxy kind of in the way of it as well. Yeah, you can see there is this cabal of 3 players very, very close by, but they are still downhill from that super duper high ground. For Alula, this is a brilliant spot to take points, to try and extract value from this early to mid game.
Interesting lineup, and like you say, obviously not the best position to try and get that follow-up from. So reset from 4-5s, they're going to be more aware and paranoid about the potential angle and not expose themselves. AGAL were slow on the rotate. They were trailing behind Aurora. That started to turn a little bit with them actually pulling up very close towards the Aurora squad, looking to blot out the sun. It's a nice angle on the peak from top. A weapon he's very comfortable with. Takes the pot shot, but not quick on the response. XCZ with a knock, John. Damn.
Now Aurora can't really roll forwards. Doc and Joel immediately rolling back around to try and keep things together. Reapers with some good suppressing fire. There are off angles as well against this position that could potentially be causing worry for AGAL. Do not want to let their momentum slip. Could jump up into the top 5 themselves after this match. But it is still a long way out from the end of this one as the res comes through. So Top's back to his feet. They can start to control this eastern side, but the hills for Alula are just so beneficial now. This is a brilliant game for them to try and make this one work. it's so hard for everybody else to try and move. I feel like Thundertalk are going to have a really tough time here trying to extract themselves from the southeast side where they sit, which is behind this engagement on our screens now, Jackie.
Yeah, this is something that could be really bad for them with the backstab building, scouting party play from Doc coming in around the rear, whilst the nades are just keeping them hammered into position. AGAL do get one knock onto top once again. It's a good nade thrown out from a key player from the team in Flower H, but on the hard commit, Joel is slick with it with the reply, punishes him, pushing up daisies. That's the only flowers that are in his mind now. Liu on the reply, jumps behind the steering wheel. Off-angle push on the ridge. Let's see if he can do anything from this.
Moves out into position. Doc on the high ground has control of the angle, though Liu does need to be careful. That smoke's just about to fade. Drops the Molotov to stop any forwards aggressive pushes as CRic-FIix regroups up to the top. All of Aurora are here, and Thundertalk are trying to loop around this one. Okay, put pressure onto the solo. Let's see what Doc's got. He's got backup now, and the rest of Aurora are trying to move on in. It's a breath of life for AGAL, but maybe they want to get stuck in too, because Doc is still fragging out. Nade out to try and find an angle on towards Thundertalk, and this is a little bit more aggressive. This is a little bit more dynamic. That's what we wanted to see. That's what we wanted to see, but do they have the skills to back it up? Not stepping in fire, kind of rule number one. On the crossfire, immediately shreds a player away from them. That is great news. Not only that, but it gets the information over the rest of his team. Where RRQ are approaching from? How many are they? What sort of angles are they playing around with? It is so invaluable to have that sort of stuff on side. I think the Galaxy look to get rid of the remnants to go.
This time they clear on the edge. They knew CRic-FIix was knocked once again. The over investment from cleaning out the full squad isn't worth the risk, though, so they won't go too deep into it. Stay in the angle where they know they're safe from the peak from Alula. Safe from the peak from Alula. Coop's looking for a backside read as Killer Joe sits, staying warm by the burning building with Force miles away from assisting him.
Orangutan in the meantime tried to send forwards. They've lost a lot of health bar, but it looks like they may be able to res up to 3 if they're lucky. All while this is all unfolding, RRQ again suffering. But it's back and forth with Go. And I think that might just spell the end for them. Only Killer Joe now remaining. The last to stand, Enigma Galaxy, all too chuffed with this because they are in that 5th place spot now. Goat desperately wanting to try and stay in the running for our last match, which is yet to come after this.
Oh, Satan spotting it. Seemed like that was the clear there over towards the vehicle. Good shots on target. Stop Killer Joe. Remove Goat. So they're out here. And that's the dream scenario. Licking your lips for Enigma Galaxy. They know that they'll be able to move themselves up. Cleaning limbs added to the total tally. The 4 players still remaining alive. We saw Force falling to RRQ that are trapped down in a divot right now. Resetting, playing inside of the smoke. Such a wide berth of space, though, with Silence keeping his sights on this position.
A lot of open angles for them to play around, but leaving this building is going to be so hard for Furia. With the angles that Enigma Galaxy, maybe not Alola, I think they're a little bit too far away to take shots out there, but the position that Enigma Galaxy have on this, they'll have the information. Actually, it might be pretty difficult for them to actually compete on that angle. So maybe AGAL could be more important on suppressing Furia's route out, but a swing down to the south could definitely be on the cards for Furia if they're able to find an opener, get rid of top in the process, maybe find a shot over towards Team Flash. So they do have options. But again, it just slaps bang on top of Enigma Galaxy right in the middle. And there's a big focus on the 5th place bubble with Goat and Enigma Galaxy, but AGL are there too. And they are right in that bubble contest as well.
And considering how this one potentially could have gone for them with the run-up onto Aurora as well, could have been a very different game for AGAL. Surviving far later than expected off the awkward encounter with the nades that came their way. The backline play from Doc that could have spelled defeat. But ironically, it's Aurora that are down to just the solo outside of the zone, and AGAL that still look to fight on for another day.
Top trying to creep up towards the hills here, but has to go open broadside towards Team Flash if he wants to make it. Furia up and into the foothills now. Yeah, I don't think the angles are there. Alola picking up more points as well. They're finding shots left and right, doing a lot of damage, but they have to crunch down south now. So leaving that position has kept them safe for so long. On the north side, continuing to just lose a player, and now they're down to 1. And they may not last too much longer. Indeed, they will fall. And it's Ulf out in 9th place.
Finished off there as Devil from Reject gets that last shot in with the Mini 14. CRic-FIix being shut down as the zone nips at their heels and the fight breaking out all across the battleground. 4 Fribes coming alive once again. See you later, top, as that's Enigma Galaxy with the spot from quite some distance. Up on top of the rock, Lord, living his movie. There could be so many free points to steal from the position they've got themselves into, John, and you can't get them out.
Just not going to be available to you, not on the cards. 4 Thrive still taking a little bit of punishment on the off angle, but they do have to make a move fairly soon. They have to get these reses coming through. Tops 4 Flash is doing a little bit of work at suppressing Furia's position, but we're hopping on board with X-Force Rejects. This is the team looking to try and displace Alola, or indeed anyone above them, off of that top 13 spot, but they have to lead here with DK in the way. That's made very tricky. 4 Thrives of the long-range angle, but Kevin opens up the bidding. There is damage pouring in, but no knocks are sticking. Not just yet. Finally, the first falls, and now it's 2 of them left to try and put something together.
So many of our squads going at each other right now. 4-5 seems to be taking the brunt of the damage as they fall one by one. Goodbye, good night. Reject could be going the same way as well as GK have overwhelmed them on the close quarters engagement and picked them off. In the midst of all this, we saw some pot shots hitting onto Enigma Galaxy and leaving them down to just one man. It's only Lord that remains up on top of the high ground.
Some big shifts when it comes to the tables. As you say, Enigma Galaxy going down to 1 and AGAL breathing down their neck on location and on the points totals now. GOAT dropping to 7th place as 2 teams have now pushed past them. Alula continue to climb and they make sure that RRQ is now a buffer place behind them, and GK could be next up on the chopping block if they can transition towards this low ground. So a lot of really important dynamics unfolding here when it comes to moving into this final game, and that is a helping hand of a circle towards AGAL.
The benefit of Alula for so long finally starts to slip through the fingertips. Lord still in a position to play off the angle he secured for himself, whilst everyone else fights at the bottom of the tower, looking to climb over one another to guarantee themselves more from this match. Trying to stay as tight to the wall as possible as to not be shot from below or above. Ayala with a vehicle looking for the move round. Alula having to advance as well. You got the split on either side, it seems. A stereo rotate for Alula and GK.
A two-pronged approach. See if the horns connect. Ooh, OG losing another. I feel like for the teams in first, second, maybe even third, they're going to start to feel safe moving into this last one, but everybody else playing for keeps here. Furia wanting to find these shots, but not quite connecting. The nades not quite getting the distance on the arm there for Flash. I mean, it's a bit maybe overzealous to try and connect onto this. But both teams out of the zone need to try and regroup. And AGAL want to be the lobby commanders to make this one work. And Nade downhill has a little bit more legs to it, but doesn't quite find the target. Now Flash are up and into the hill, so it's just got a little bit more dicey.
Keeping the pressure on either side. Nades towards the top for a peek over from Lord, making sure it's uncomfortable for him and the solo from AGAL that's looking to defend that engage from Furia. Surprise Flash is still alive, and Lord actually does get the peek in onto Furia. Still no trade back towards him. So although it's only a solo, Enigma Galaxy being a thorn in the side of the squads beneath them here.
Alula on that north side, looking to keep the pace going. Coming off of a strong game on the last one. Now they're up to 9 elims again as well. And on this north side, they've got that high ground command that they were looking to try and sequester away. How high can they climb, though? Furia backs to the blue. They're a little bit more desperate now. And around the corner they go, locking themselves into the vehicle. Team Flash suffering, trying to find a challenge, but it doesn't connect. Is there a third party from AGAL? Doesn't look like they find anything, but Bose steps up. It's rebuffed by Lord. Enigma Galaxy up on high, still here to play.
Stealing away elim after elim in all of the commotion. That puts him up to 6 individually. 3 to his name. Make that 4 as he continues to spray. Lord with the eyes in the sky, punishing down now as Enigma Galaxy keep the heat on Furia. Switches his attention round to AGAL as well. They're coming in to close the gap. Goodbye, Flower Age. It's uncomfortable. Ayala holds his own. Good defense. Damage done. XEZ trapped.
You've also got Igor to play on the angle as well, and there goes AGAL. Dropping down. They do manage to ladder up, but remember, the placements haven't kicked in for Enigma Galaxy just yet, so they will be in the top 5 going into the last one. And Lord is not done. Is there nothing this guy can't take a chunk out of? Everybody stepping forwards, and everybody wants to find out just who's up on that high ground.
The Lord of the Mountain. Anyone that dares to challenge him has been dethroned. And the longer he lives on, John, the less ammunition remains. Running low. The economy now playing a pivotal role. How much more can he squeeze out of this? Switches to the Mini 14. Bang on the head. Goodbye, OG.
Wow, goodness me. They eliminate themselves up another place, and 4 teams remain at this stage. It's Alula who have done bits now here to solidify themselves into the top 16. They've almost, so the top 13. It's fairly certain that they may have done enough here, which is a great relief for them, I'm sure. guaranteeing themselves a solid double-digit game coming on in. As CRic-FIix try to crawl their way around the edges. Quick, oh, you can't be going out that far in the blue. Goodness me. Loses his footing somewhat and the most of his health bar too.
More of their utility force to be reinvested to get themselves healthy to contest from here. Furia somehow living on borrowed time with some of the awkward fights they've had to even get this far into the runnings. Lord knowing he can't risk too many engagements that won't result in a clean pick with the low ammunition left in reserve. CRic-FIix and Alula not too far from one another. This could all change in an instant, John.
A single pick. I mean, the fact that Lord is low on ammo is so important for CRic-FIix here. Their survival would be all but diminished in its entirety if they do find it. But there's a first knock over towards CRic-FIix. Lola dancing around. Silence does connect, but he has to go for the reload. In the meantime, Lord pitches a point away with some of his precious ammo at range, and he finds more too. Down to his last magazine, though. 31 rounds for Lord. He's got 2 nades, but has to back off.
He's got an angle to get his HP back, doesn't need to overinvest. He's already started to break the backs of everyone that's dared to defy him from this angle. Let them fight amongst themselves. Furia putting pressure on, but they're not ready from the peak from the top. Lord, 2 nades in the back. Let's see if these will pay off. Cooked nicely, rolling down the hillside. Alula already still the point on the Furia.
One more nade for Lord. Drops it right on top of their heads. Looks for the shots, gets 1 knock, but it's now up to Alula, who are looking to charge themselves up. Gain some pace over, and they are able to find it. The high ground was indomitable, and Alula take a 12 elim chicken dinner.
The twists and turns on the narrative. Miramar delivering with madness in the desert as squads had to desert all hope the longer that went on, knowing the high ground was irrecoverable. Lord up on high. And he saw everything, John. The difference is, with ammunition running low, he did what he could. And he stole far more points than it felt like he was going to get from that one.
Absolutely. I think it was at least 6 eliminations for him, maybe even 7. So the team is going to be chuffed to bits with a 3rd place off of that location. You could see Enigma Galaxy. They are happy. Yeah, okay, yeah, get that celebration in. You love to see it. And they are feeling good because that is going to put them nice and deep into the top 5, Jackie.
That's an unbelievable game of Miramar there, mate. A lot of excitement, right? And you think about how awkward it was for them, constantly trapped with Alula staring at them for so long. They're thinking, do we really commit to the fight versus GOAT? Lord made the heads-up play to climb up. The zone gave them a blessing, and they ran with that as long as they could. Shocking scenes from Alula as well, just always making it uncomfortable for all of these squads. And John, I'm shocked Furia survived that. That long.
I am too. I feel like they were really on their last legs for so many times, but to get to 2nd place is a real testament to their transitional ability. From that location on the southwest side, they picked their path well, taking that fight with Flash. It was stymied, it was corralled, but it was fought well and with good heart for Furia. Happy to see them getting later into this one. Alula, though, the big news here is, of course, their ascendancy away from that bubble at the bottom of the tables. And with a game like that, are they not too far off top 5? I mean, it's possible if they could do it again. I feel like there is potentially something on the cards. It would be a miracle.
Hey, man, they said we can fix things in the last 2 games. That's one half already secure. Have another big performance, give us another reason to get excited. Come out here and wax lyrical with the plays that they can deliver. It could all change. It's why it's so enticing today. It's why it's so explosive. These teams know. One mistake, you could have your key crushed and your dreams going with it.
Yeah, 3 keys will be listed for destruction. By the end of today, we will have those 3 keys named and locked and loaded, ready to go. We are going to go and take a look at some of what our sponsors have to say before we come back with our final match. So do not go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few.
Final CC update, and I managed to grab 2 people to help us talk through everything that we need to. Of course, we have Ginny, but we're also joined by Blaze. So, Blaze, let's start things off by breaking down what's going on here on your stage.
I mean, so it's absolutely insane. You know, when it comes down to the CC, you got 3 teams here that can really make a run for those club championship points. You got Falcons, 100 Thieves, and FaZe Esports. So when it comes down to those squads on your stage, they're going to be getting some help over here.
Okay, that's actually big because this is an opportunity for a couple of those teams to actually get some more points that they need, Ginny. So talk to me about the CC implications that this could have and if there are any other CC squads that might have some surprises.
Yeah, so when it comes to right now, we have 4 out of the top 8 that already qualified. So you got FaZe, you got G2, you got 100 Thieves, as well as Falcons. Very important to note, however, that G2 is not CC eligible because of the fact that they made too many roster changes after the deadline has already passed. They did knock Gentlemates into this lower bracket, and Gentlemates has competed before on COD, where they got 200 points. They competed in Valorant, where they also got 200 points, and they are yet to compete in Rocket League next week, where they have a pretty good roster. So for Gentlemates' side of things, like, they have to win this lower bracket game today to even be in the top 8 and get some points. My question then for you is, how realistic is that, considering what happened yesterday with the 3-0?
I mean, it was a 3-0. It was crazy. You know, I talked to some of the players, and they felt like they were playing a God squad over there.
Oh, wow.
But don't worry, the Gentle Suits are in the building. And if I've seen anything out of that amazing group, is that they can will their team through some crazy series to push them into the finals.
I love that. I love that, which means that there's definitely going to be some very exciting matches coming up over the next couple of days. Yes. So, of course, as we know more, we'll keep all of you updated and see how everything plays out.
Thank you, Genie, Glitter, and Blaze for the update with the CC, because things are getting spicy here at Pmwc at EWC 26 as we're going to be heading into our final match of Group A. We will end up eliminating the bottom 3 teams. And talking about those bottom 3 teams, Lays, one team that was able to push themselves out of it from the beginning of the day, Alula, ended up getting that win as well.
Yeah, I just want to obviously mention to you guys at home, they started today with 21 points in the bottom 3. Now, they've had a nice trajectory so far and being able to sort of keep themselves within that middle, but then to skyrocket to a chicken dinner. And not only that, managed to get about 10 eliminations just before the fight with Furia when they're moving their way down off that peak onto the hill, and then they were able obviously to get that. But that wasn't without some help from one of our teammates who was sitting on the top peak there. But for this team, they clearly understand that
These last 2 games are incredibly important. They have had a steady run throughout this. I mean, looking at this position here, they are actually sort of moving their way down on top of GK, which I thought, oh, okay. Obviously, they weren't sort of putting out that scout to see where Furia were at that moment. Furia were able to get like a couple of knocks on them, but they were able to reset and then get that win.
I have no idea how Fury just kept getting back up. They get knocked back up, knocked back up, knocked back up, and they got really deep in that game. I did not expect them to make it actually to a top 2 finish. That is very impressive. Just highlighting how relentless Fury truly are here, representing Brazil in Paris for Pmwc. But the finishing moments here, Nyasa giving it his best shot. But Lord in particular, here Niptura, oh my goodness, making it rain from this peak finish with that mini 14. He was holding onto his resources for as long as he really could, but eventually the circle had a different plan in mind.
No, he was exactly the right teammate to be up on top there, right? I think he was really, really good at sussing out exactly where everybody was. He was really good at getting those nades. Some of them went a little long, but a lot of them were right on target. I love the mini that he had as well. That was a fantastic weapon of choice to be up there. So all around, a really, 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 really good play coming in from him. Really, yes. Really.
But really. And really, Lore was able to put up good performance for Enigma Galaxy, being able to secure some extra placement points as well, putting up those, oh man, look at us, Tomash, let's go. 8 eliminations there from Lord, and the damage there as well, and this is a squad that's currently in contention for that top 5, and they were securing the top of that mountain.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to do that 3-1 split. That's what they had in the mid-game. 3 players down below in the thick of it, fighting all the teams. There was Alula, there was even a side of Go at one point just coming their way. But no, Lord was trying to keep his teammates safe, but he could only do so for so long, right? Eventually, teams are going to be encroaching on his 3 teammates. They get eliminated, and then Lord is alone. But I like what he did because he knew he was limited in resources, right, Niptura? He was not able to really take too many shots. He just held onto those resources until the very end, where he could maybe convert that into a chicken dinner. As we know, that didn't happen. But Podium, as a solo, that is huge regardless.
Huge indeed, as we're going to be taking a look at the overall. And I want you to keep in mind, top 5 go directly to the finals. Bottom 3 gets in home, and the ones in between get to go to survival. 4th thrives, still in the 1st place, but just like, actually, let's just focus on 4th all the way to 9, because 4th place with Aurora Gaming, they have been playing great today, but they just haven't been able to create such a big gap, as they only have 82 points, 4 points more than AGAL in 6th place.
No, they do. It's going to be interesting. I have noticed that Aurora have been stepping up, right? They felt that pressure a little bit. They've realized, like, oh, it's not really going our way. We got to up our game a little bit. It is working now. So they are at 82 points. Yeah, it's still going to be all down to the wire in this last game, but at least they're already there. You know, teams like Team Flash are also already there, but 2 points ahead of AGAL. GOAT team as well. Furia climbing up those ranks. They were not in 8th place a few games ago, Max.
Yeah, I mean, really looking at the teams in the top 5, 4 thrives, they're safe. We know they're going to make it. They're going straight into your Pmwc Grand Finals. Orangutan, I would say, also somewhat safe, right, going out to this one, because right now they're above the likes of Enigma Galaxy, Aurora, Team Flash. We're looking at Aurora Gaming and Team Flash in particular here. They need a big game, Lace. If they do not get that performance here, all gamers, GOAT team, Furia, you know they're going to chase them down for that top 5.
Yeah, they need to make these opportunities for themselves, and what we're seeing a lot of teams do is kind of letting just the cookie crumble how it will. These players need to start obviously creating these opportunities and making the lobby play to their way. And I must say that from that game, Furia did that. I would kind of call them like the mountain goats of PUBG, because what is with them being able to scale up a mountain, absolutely decimate in every way, which form. But it's good to see Alula here, obviously moving up with 63 points, definitely securing that place out of the bottom 3. Now, I do want to sort of touch on, I guess, a little bit more of like Thunder talk out of that game. This is crunch time for them. They're under pressure. And look, they had a push from Aurora in the building, and they showed no presence, Max. They just sat down there. They didn't create any space, no presence, and got absolutely rolled by Aurora.
Yeah, they have the cloak of invisibility, but no one told them to take it off right now. It's time to take it off. They're looking at this one. The point gap is 12 points between X-Force Rejets and RRQ. Yeah, I would say you are teams in the bottom 3. You have to hot drop RRQ. I'm sorry, it is time. If you don't do it here, you're going right home right away, straight to Charles de Gaulle. And as we know, that is not where you want to be.
We usually hate to see the hot drops, but in situations like this, do it. You got to take destiny into your hands. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Lace. They have to do it.
Yeah, and look, this is what I'm saying, where create your game. Make these plays to position other players into moving and having you create that space. Like, even if they were to look at, you know, players like Alula, who were in the bottom, they actually forced GK to rotate into Furia. They made that play. And these bottom teams need to be able to do that as well.
Yeah, they need to be able to do that, and they need to be careful with teams that are going to be towards the top, like none other than, who's that? Who's this? Oh, it's the best content creator for Pmwc. Come up here, baby. Come up here. You know what? You don't even have to go that way. Just step over the chairs. You got this.
Hey.
Cool. The beast with 4 thrives currently in first place. Oh, put him on. Put him on. Oh, you should have told me. I would have brought mine too. But my Naki is here. And Naki, the team is currently sitting in first place. How are you guys feeling?
Alhamdulillah, we are feeling great. We are having a great moment.
Ooh, yes, you guys are. You guys have OG currently chasing you for that first place. Whoever gets first place gets to crush some keys. But how are you enjoying Paris so far?
Paris has been really great for us. The weather here is so beautiful. The city is so beautiful. We are really excited to visit the sites.
You're really excited to hopefully end up lifting that trophy. Max, you got any questions for Naki?
What do you think of French people like myself? The locals.
Bonjour, bonjour.
That definitely answers my question. Thank you very much.
That is a great one. From what you guys have seen, going back to the game, from what you guys have seen so far out of day 1 and day 2 here, has there been anything that ended up surprising the squad?
OG has definitely been a surprise for us. Like, they're playing really good. Their decisions, I haven't really looked at them that much, but their decisions are really good.
Yeah, their decisions have definitely been good. And for everybody currently watching, don't forget that you can experience the PUBG Mobile fan experience, because it is gonna be open from August 11th through the 16th. Go enjoy some of the exciting activities, not only PUBG Mobile and Naruto Shippuden, the amazing collab that we're doing, but also the PUBG Mobile, Spider-Man, everything cool going on there. You can earn some exclusive rewards, so make sure you check that out. But yeah, I'm with you, Naki. I mean, I'm with what you were saying in regards to OG has been able to surprise a lot of those teams. And then towards the bottom, you're seeing some teams that I thought were going to end up performing better too with extra rejects. But with this one, who's going to be your top 5? I mean, it's pretty much said, but who is actually going to be your top 5? Tell me your predictions.
I mean, this only last match remaining. So I don't see that there are going to be a lot of changes to the top 5. But the teams on top 5, yeah. OG, definitely. 4 thrives, as we know.
I mean, you kind of have to pick them. Come on now.
And Aurora is playing really consistent. And I hope FL qualifies. They are really my best friends. And one remaining?
Yeah, one. I think, if I'm doing the math, Max, math right? One more? Yeah, one more.
Be good, yeah.
OG 40, FL, Aurora, and CRic-FIix.
Ooh.
Oh, nice one.
CRic-FIix. Okay, I thought you were going to go with the different one, like Enigma Galaxy. But thank you so much for joining us. Lace, Max Benatura, myself, 7WG. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time we go into the final match of Group A. Who's going to end up winning it? Who's going to end up in the bottom 3 and get sent home? Let's send it over to none other than John Allen and Jackie.
Oh yeah, it's time to get stuck into the final map for Group A. 3 teams on the chopping block, but those initials yet to be carved. Who will be taking up that chisel and taking down their opponents? Only time will tell, and 5 teams will rise right to the top. Cream of the cream, or creme de la creme, as they say here in Paris.
Maximum way. That's what I'm expecting to see here live in Paris. It's going to get explosive, John. It's going to get enticing. And from what we've seen over the course of the day, it should all build to an absolute blistering affair here in our culminating game. Our last battleground, Miramar, once again on the cards. And you're right, that sharpened steel of the Butcher Blade is getting ready to chop. And those keys will be crushed. Barney will be there on stage, literally grinding all of these teams' efforts into a pulp.
Well, not all of the teams.
No, those teams.
Yeah,
just
three.
those teams.
Yeah, okay.
All of those teams.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Sorry,
man.
mate. Yeah,
I know we've got to chuck most of them into the grinder. Only one key will eventually remain. But we've got to get there first, and we've got
That's
to do
a
it
while
bit
away,
by
yeah.
bit. It's incremental, you know. But we do get to do 15 at once over towards the final, so make sure you're going to check that one out as we take our final steps onto the plane with Group A. Miramar has never been hotter. It's time to decide who will move forwards.
Now you can see the keys around the crusher. Our team's deep in fort, getting their last minutes in before we kick this one live. Get back into the playing path and set things off. The players, the organizations, the hopes and dreams. The atmosphere is good here in Paris. You can feel it. Tension you could cut with a knife for some of these squads. And for the top end, John, as much as you're not fighting to lose your chance in the tournament, you certainly are putting your neck on the line to make sure you guarantee a chance to skip that survival stage.
Absolutely. Top 5 is so valuable here. Interesting predictions coming out from Noki back over on the desk as he found himself over the back of the chairs and immediately thrust into doing Max 7 and Neptura and Lace's job, you know. Apparently we had to draft in some outside help there, but I think fourth rise OG, yeah, 100% I agree on that. Aurora, I think is a fairly safe bet. I feel like not including Nigma Galaxy in the top 5 was a bit of an outside chance. And then even further beyond that as outside chance, KRX being in the top 5 for him. I feel like that's maybe what he wanted to happen. Not what is probably going to happen.
I mean, that's his personal ideal top 5, right? That's his take on it. So it's fair enough, man. Exciting teams. They've certainly all given us something to rave about over the course of yesterday and today here at Pmwc. Live from EWC 26. The big 26, John.
God, imagine. I remember when it was the 26. Just last year, actually. It was
25.
Yeah, it was
and the year before that, 24.
No, it wasn't. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it wasn't 25 the year before that. Come on, don't be silly. Southwest Circle, as the plane path goes straight down the middle of this one from Partona up towards San Martin. It looks like we are going to be heading down towards that Chumacera Hills area, the Ladriera dual peak lines over on that western side. Going to be a major feature there. So transitional areas around there, highly coveted. A lot of ground on the south side is slightly treacherous. Potential to see teams rotating down through Partona, trying to get access to the west, but more than likely, we're going to see a long rotate over on the north side, coming down on that west edge, past El Pozo, to try and push themselves towards those Ladriera Hills.
With the stage set and the potential for the best and the squads at the bottom established, so you know what results we'll be looking out for on this one. We'll delve into it and get an eye line. We heard the analyst saying at times like this, you need to really invest that risk versus reward. You can't play it overly safe. You can't leave your fate in hands of other teams. That goes both ways, John. If you want to try and push into that top 5, or if you're looking to actually keep yourself in the competition, not lose those keys, we'll see if there's any forced fights, if the early game is a bit different. Some of the indecision we've seen from squads. You look back, right, what we saw from TTG, moments of difference where maybe if they just committed that risk factor, could have given themselves a little bit more stock to play with. We'll see if that changes here and now.
I mean, right now for X-Force Rejects, they're sat 12 points behind RRQ. That is a big gap to make up. It's going to be very, very difficult to do that, and even further behind for the teams behind that as well. So I'm really not holding out hope. I feel like we may already have our top 13. I don't want to jinx it for RRQ, but I feel like I'm fairly confident in saying that, especially given where RRQ are on the map, down towards Biodemar already, pretty much slap bang in the center of this circle. Yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult to try and jump up there and change things on that front. Would require something quite special, but there are quite a few teams, I think, who could realistically jump into the top 5 here, depending on how Flash, Aurora, Nigma Galaxy do in this game. There are potentially opportunities to jump on through and see what you can get done for maybe down to 9th, but maybe even Ulf could give it a fair crack, if not Alula, which is a very outside chance. But 17 points, as we were saying, you know, the 12-point gap feels pretty dastardly to try and get past, but with the form that Alula are on right now, it might be doable. 17 points.
Yeah, they've been looking far better, been hitting some good strides, and Definitely guareteeing themselves at least more of a safety net to play with from slipping deeper down into the depths. Rising, though, and attempting to climb does kind of rely, like you say, on a few of our squads that have been those point vacuums, those absolute hoovers towards the top side, effectively just falling early, having some kind of breakdown that opens that door for an overlap for a squad to find a way in. So a lot riding on it on the individuals. A lot of small storylines in this one. We'll keep you dialed in with the narrative.
Trying to play small ball and keep yourself rolling straight down the track to the top 5 at the moment. I mean, the differentials between these teams are really quite small. I mean, even up towards OG, an 8-point difference between 2nd and 5th is very, very much surmountable. A 10-point difference from AGAL up towards Orangutan to jump up towards that top spot. So, very volatile, even at this late stage. 12 out of 12, we're at the full fraction. No more matches after this one, and it is still very much all to play for. Unless you're 4th drives, then you're pretty much guaranteed to be in already.
They've done more than enough with the plays that they've made over the course of the past 2 days, John. Looked very, very exciting to watch. It would be a real shame not to have them there, to be honest, mate. I feel like it would be a big blunder. So glad they've already proven just how hard they're willing to play here live from Paris. We've heard the arena getting absolutely ballistic time and time again when you see pop-off plays. Hell, even just from one individual, right? FIix starts to go huge. This place gets loud.
I feel like FIix does anything, this place can get loud, I think.
True.
That's, you know what? That's exactly the sort of support that has seen them into the top place right now. It's exactly the sort of support that saw them to first place back in PMGO as well. A global title spurring them on. And a second in their sights. We'll have to wait a little bit longer to see if they can do it, but it's almost certain that they're going to have a crack. Aurora, in the meantime, a lot less certain, but in a scrap with RRQ and Furia. RRQ, remember, the bubble team at the bottom, do not want to be going down early.
No, you could see that kind of kicking in, the immediate reaction when they thought, hang on, I've got a line of sight to try and take a pick here over onto them. Throws a few bullets out, but doesn't want to overcommit. Far riskier for RRQ than it is for Aurora and Furia. If they see weakness, they might attempt to dogpile on top of that and backstab towards Aurora. It's calmed down off the initial shots that were fired out. But you're still nearby. No safety yet, and that's only the one man from RRQ as well with the split they went for, so it's a lot riskier trying to keep his nose clean and out of trouble.
Ooh, a little bit of trouble finds OG, though. Taking a knock over towards themselves, and on the north side, looks like a little bit of a traffic jam between 2 of our teams towards the bottom and our 2nd place team, OG. Having a little bit of trouble here, a little bit of strife. And that's going to be another nade launched over the top. The knock not yet back up, and Swash does get flushed away. Shiva to be able to claim that one. Potential wraparound here for Rolex, but he's spotted and handled. X-Force Rejects seemingly in charge of this fight against Gaming Stars as another flush comes on through. Yusuf and Maniac trying to piece themselves back together, but boom goes the dynamite. Leaves Maniac flagging. Nothing more to be said.
That was quick. It was clean as well, and that's what you need. Good plays made. They're going to be able to shut him down and remove G-Star from the competition off the back of that, make it far more uncomfortable for them, as they now know there is nothing they can do for themselves in this situation to rise up the ranks. They're left dead last in that position, whilst Reject claim 4 points. They've got to do a whole lot more, John, but that's a brilliant start.
They've got to get a whole lot further down south as well now. For X-Force Rejects, they have to move from that northern edge all the way out the back. OG, in the meantime, did manage to get the player res, so they are rotating against a full 4 team there, as well as KRX out on their west side. This is a real gauntlet for X-Force Rejects, and if they're going to qualify, this is the sort of test that they need to prove themselves capable of passing, Jackie. So I'm happy, in a way, that they have that opportunity. I'm not so certain that they're going to be able to pass it, but I'm willing to be proved wrong, and I'm ready to be here for when it happens. RRQ are now only 4 points ahead.
KRX on the ramp over the top, hitting the show-stopping plays, but can they actually punish with the shots? Close quarters combat from Hooksy, good for one, but a right hook straight back in his face. And for Reject, It went from a nice start to a punishing position. Damage done onto 3 players for CRic-FIix though. It's just Trey left. Spams bullets onto Reverb. Starts to put them in their place, but recovering from this is going to be awkward. Both teams suffering massive losses.
Shiva not in the fight, a little bit too further afield and already locked down. That's going to be a lot of points added to RJC's total, but they are losing players left and right. Now playing on as 2, they disengage with 7 eliminations. They are getting closer and closer to RRQ as time goes by. And X-Force rejects with a chance, but yeah, that gauntlet, like I was saying, is such a tough pass. The third party coming through, it's pretty impossible to make that one work. But KRX falling in the meantime as well. A little chime in coming through from OG, helping them out there, adding some more points to the RJC tally.
And OG keeping themselves in a very comfortable position. Seeing if they can chase towards 4 Thrives. See who remains at the top of the plinth come the end of today. It'll be exciting to see who our lobby leader is when it's all said and done. TTG here as well. Another team that it feels like even the potential of them really grinding from the spot they've been left in, John, is unlikely at this point.
Yeah, it's getting less and less likely for a lot of teams as time goes on. And in terms of top 5 qualification, I'm afraid that Noki will not be correct with his KRX prediction, as he is going to be down in a 9th place spot. But they're going to be seen again in the survival stage. I think I can guarantee that. I'm going to lock that one in. Zypher spots Shiva from X-Force Rejects, and that is going to be a quick flush. Their run may just have been drawn short on the north side, and RRQ, all they need to do is hold their nerve, stay alive, keep things together, and defend their patch slap bang in the middle, although it's got a lot less central now with a hard east shift.
Zone crunching in. Goat already in position. Kike making the move up as well. Alula, Furia, really just the dribs and drabs that remain for Reject over that side as well, with OG potentially in a position to find them on their late pathing in. An Enigma side that looked very talented into the previous matchup off the back of the skillful plays we saw from Lord on the elevated angle towards the mountaintop. Seeing what more they'll get from this. That's the park up from Devil. I mean, there is potential for it, John. RRQ have been attempting to avoid fights up to this point. There's been a couple of opportunities where teams have whizzed near. They haven't risked it, which still means there's a chance. But if Reject can do much, maybe there's an opportunity. It's only a solo, though, so we're looking for a big finish on it with some more elims. It will not be an easy feat and requires RRQ to be shut down by a different team.
And I feel like RRQ's position is just so strong here. It's such a difficult position to try and get up on towards against a full force squad. If they're reactive and fast enough to respond to threats as they come their way, that is the major downside for RRQ, right? You have to play it fairly split in this location. And it looks like they are going to be, I mean, they're spiking out. They are making themselves known, which I think is the right play. Force teams around them to fight against each other as they try and ascend towards it. This is what you need for RRQ. Keep that suppressive pressure, just moving teams away from you. You do not want to give them the idea that, hey, you're a weak fight. But maybe Furia have found their opening. There is AGAL behind them that can make it harder, Jackie. But I feel like Furia, we know how hardy this team is. We know that they've got some real staying power. The question is, can they get up the side of this cliff?
A similar situation once again for Furia then. They've had plot armor in the previous game, but this one might be harder for them. Shots on target towards Leo, so AGAL start to back up. Look to close the distance between their split and play off each other. You've got good cover at least by pushing so far towards the ridge side, so you can't take shots from the top of RRQ. But fighting towards them, like you say, is another story.
It does allow RRQ a little bit more flexibility, I'd say. If you're confident that Fury is not going to push up that cliff, not going to go further in and try and loop around the cliff, you've got some more latitude to send your players to other angles, but there's plenty of angles to try and deal with. As Alala charge on in and take on AGAL and take a huge bites out of their player count, down to 2 now, and that bubble just got a little bit safer. And 78 points for AGAL. Team Flash still 2 points ahead on 80.
Yeah, this is really rough for them, John. If they were looking at the idea of having another game where they could really ramp up those points and push themselves into a good spot, you're down to half your chance now with only 2 of the 4 players alive. They were attacked from the side by GOAT as well. And although Furia was safe from the gaze, from that top side view of RRQ, it's the roam in from Aurora that's closed the gap to allow them to get shots onto them. Made it more uncomfortable. Got that initial pick over.
Nick McGalaxy getting stuck in on that western flank. They are kind of outside in the cold right now, behind 4 Thrives, but getting a pick onto the open is good, but they've lost Coops on the back line, and he's all the way out in the blue, Jackie. I don't think that they're going to be able to get him back up there. Devil is keeping him company. Zypher in a real sticky spot, so it looks like that trade will be evened up. So, 2 of our top 5 teams taking 1 player out from either side. And it is Devil who picks up the point there. Adds them up to 44, and a little bit closer to RRQ. So now you're still not worried.
That feels like a little, a little subtext storyline. We'll keep our eyes on it. It's not super likely with how it's going.
Okay.
But worth being aware of. I mean, he's still on the move, still alive for now.
Yeah, but the zone's coming to get him. He made a deal with himself to be able to get away with that one. I mean, RRQ with the assist from the high ground, suppressing the angle from Nick McGalaxy that was completely had him dead to rights. But where does he go here? He's got to go up. He's got to go around into OG, in towards RRQ. And there's not really a good choice here. It is stage 4. So the zone is quite survivable. So yeah, okay, go for a long wrap. That probably makes more sense on it. Drops that adrenaline in as well, maxing out the stims, get as much healing as he can get.
We'll see how that pathing goes for him once he gets himself back into the zone, sustaining a decent amount of damage, but he had a few meds to try and buffer it out. Not easy though, not comfortable. 4 Thrives with IQ getting line of sight again to re-engage, so a bit of pressure applied from them. RRQ still sitting where they hunkered down so long ago, waiting for a team to attempt to force the fight. GK with a connection in the rear. Thundertalk seeing all of this commotion around them as well. As Nick McGalaxy move up towards Alula. That's top taken down by IQ, and Falak getting stuck in as Aurora are suffering casualties.
This is dangerous for Aurora. They're not safe, not in its entirety. Nick McGalaxy a little bit better on the points tables, but going this low, trying to just wend your way on through. Seems like they successfully shacked themselves up there. Get 2 of their players across as we hop on board with Alula. A lot of damage done towards GOAT team, and this was a team that was looking good for the top 5 not too long ago, but now their dreams are being dashed at the feet of Alula.
Alula, they formed a fist and they are punching through the defense of GOAT. Moxie takes a heavy blow down on his last legs as the team gets removed from the equation. Goodbye, GOAT. Alula coming alive as they begin to punish Nick McGalaxy. Absolutely collapsed on once again as well. Fragmenting the squad. 5 elims here, John.
Keeping up that pace. Alula have changed something. There is a different team right now playing for them. But losing one, taking a knock to the play zone as well. That's going to slow you down no matter who you are. Playing on us too. I have to see what they can find. It is just too far away to hope for the bubble right now. And Aurora may be breathing a little sigh of relief here with AGL getting cut down to 2 with only 1 of their players alive. This is not the situation you want to be in for Aurora. You definitely want to be putting a little bit more distance between you and that bubble, because 4 points is not enough to feel safe, especially when you think about teams that have the potential to get into this late game, like Furia, who are a little bit further behind, but definitely within striking distance.
Nick McGalaxy go down to a combination of Aurora and 4 Thrives. Removed from the equation as our top team scrap amongst each other. RRQ finally play their card, but it's versus OG, and they come in full aggro. Good shots with the AUG, damage on target. Attempting to reposition RRQ down to 2 players. That's 1 cleanup as the shots hit onto Wizguard, And they are able to repel the initial assault. Aru behind the steering wheel looks to create space and get away. Play on as a solo.
That could have been the opportunity there. If RRQ had fumbled the roll-up, it could have been the chance for Devil to make his way on in, because he's completed that wraparound that we saw him go out wide for and is now pushing him from Chumacera. Could have survived a lot longer. Looked to get a point or two on Elims, get some placements coming through, but now the gap is 6 points, and it makes it all that much harder.
And in the conversation of who'd be on top come the end of the day, it's 4-5s that are once again getting the crowd hyped up with the plays. 4 Elims in the back pocket, always showing up in the Elim feed as the arena here at the Qiddiya City Grid starts to roar. And Devil did make it in, like you say. RRQ found 2 picks onto OG though, and they're looking for the full flash back over. Aru's got something to say about it. Good for a clash up close. They're trying to force him out of the building and do so. Orangutan out of the running now as they'll be left in second.
And RRQ, another point added to their tally, pushing themselves further and further away. Not too long from now, it could be the Geekay are up on the chopping block before Thrives. The next challenge over towards RRQ. A nade from Lapar. This is the star player that the desk was talking about, bringing him up as a real clutch potential. Let's see if he's got a little bit more left to give in match 12 of 12. As 4 Thrives currently playing a 2-1 split with Falak, T24 on that western side, IQ much further inland. The back off comes through, and RRQ don't want anything more to do with that high ground, certainly not at the moment.
AGAL finally falls to Furia. TTG trapped down in the ditch with nades being dashed towards them. T24 throwing them in on target. His eyes lighting up with the idea of a prospect of 4 more points for our top lobby team right now. And as the zone eats through them, they are finding success with ease.
Oh, T24 though stays a little bit too long. There is a response finally from Thunder Talk. AJ manages to thread that one through. Furia are getting picked apart in the meantime on the south side as Al-Ula keep chowing down with their 2 players alive. The res comes through. Falak wants to suppress the rotate, but Thunder Talk have already lost 1 forwards. This is a wild charge from Falak. He is so overexposed on the hilltop. I'm surprised he didn't go down before. And RRQ are going to chime in. So is Doc from Aurora. Putting them back in their place. They may have broken the century, but you cannot get a little bit too ahead of yourself there. Either way, they've done enough. They will be top spot by the end.
10 Elims and 1 representative of the squad still alive and kicking its IQ that was down towards the low ground, so he's safe. Doc watching that angle, like you say, they just hard commit, wanting to get the extra points and prove that they can bully this lobby. Doc lines him up and knocks him down. That solo representative of Aurora at least guaranteeing some extra boon for the squad. Devil still alive in the back of the vehicle as well. He's pathing around. I mean, Flash have been so quiet for so long, but thankfully for them, John, the other squads that were close to potentially forcing them out of that 5th place are already gone. They've already left this lobby.
Yeah, it's going to be nice and safe for them to feel like there's really not much to challenge them, as Al-Ula also bite the dust. But they've done enough to see themselves into that survival stage. It's likely that the tables have started to solidify. The only moving part here is Devil, and he is caught between a rock, another rock, and several hard places. It is a tough approach from this north side, and it needs RRQ to start going down because the placements are already at 2, which means that even just surviving is not going to be enough for him. And he goes down there. That will be our bottom 3. Locked in, Jackie. X-Force Rejects joins Thunder Talk and Gaming Stars taking the tumble down. So it's all up to the points now. Who's going to finish and where is it going to be?
Those keys now guaranteed to be crushed. But the dreams live on for an RRQ side that fought for their right to survive here. Another blow back over to Aurora as Doc is shut down. And they're looking for even more. Eyes honed in towards the setup from the 2-2 split of Geekay. Our final decision comes down to who takes the chicken dinner then between these 4 remaining squads.
GK with this most central position, Flash with the high ground. As you said before, been fairly quiet over the course of this match so far, but they are starting to extend their influence now. GK in the more central spot, as I said before, but they're much more limited in terms of their maneuverability, in terms of their flexibility. It's a question of if they can force the other teams around them to fight with each other, or in the other instance, allow a team to just get straight up close to you. Now with Team Flash within nading range, it's going to get so much more hard for GK to hold off this location.
And Flash, after paying passive for so long, know that they can take risks now. So they look to advance down onto GK. Good first nade connection to blow one of the squad mates away. Present an opportunity to punish off the back of it, but RRQ with a third-party snipe from distance, starting to steal those points and increase the pressure that's mounting on Flash's shoulders.
Secure in their 5th place, but they'd like to go further to try and join on the point scoring, a little bit higher up on the tables. 4 Thrives, OG, Aurora, Enigma Galaxy, these 4 teams pretty much, they have made it into those grand finals directly. Flash will be joining them as well. It's really, I don't think it's possible. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not possible at this stage for Ulf to catch up. I don't think there's enough points left in the lobby to make up the difference, especially when you consider that Flash will also be getting placement points for a minimum of 4th place and whatever else they're able to purloin from the rest of this lobby.
Just about the showmanship at this point. Giving themselves some extra confidence going into the following games. Knowing you've got the comfortable nature of skipping that stage and coming back in to play your best. GK inside of the split as they're set up. Waiting for the advance to come in from Flash.
On that northern side, they've got that line up. They're allowing the teams to their south on the low ground to figure out how they want to try and manipulate this one as the nades keep rolling down the hill towards GK, making their life very troublesome. Yeah, Ragnar out in the open is not going to last. You can't really step out for it. And they add another point. Racking up those elims, finding another knock over towards Kevin. And this might be the final dispatch for GK, who will sit right on top of that bubble. A lovely nade posted on through, stops them dead in their tracks. But the 12th place there is going to be locked in. RRQ will be jumping over them with the placement points that they have earned, leaving GK on that bubble, but nevertheless still in survival stages, which is more than could be said for the 3 teams beneath them.
Their keys will remain. And RRQ just proving that they've still got more to show over the course of the competition then. Something that might give them an extra air, an extra reset, some wind under their sails once they get into that survival stage with the pathway they've guaranteed themselves.
Team Flash playing this one by the book. RRQ and Ulf both pushed up to these ridge lines that they have to breach through quickly and open up exposed angles against them. Flash need to be in position, ready to go for the shots, but it looks like they're more preoccupied over towards RRQ's position. And maybe rightly so, because they do find Genfos, but Ulf in the meantime have gotten up close. Maybe a little bit too close for comfort. The shots can start to ring through, but Posey doesn't have an angle on towards it, as Genfos still bleeding out, but the nades now can come on in. Zeus is in danger, so's Tops. And there's the approach coming through from Ketch and Calci off on the other angle. Aaron and Scarface playing off one another beautifully. Genfos does get flushed away, and Lapar now the last to stand for RRQ, but Ulf have managed to turn this one topsy-turvy.
Yeah, they've really thrown a spanner in the works here, and they jump back behind the steering wheel to keep more pressure on Flash. Calci with a Molotov thrown in as well, giving them a little bit of space to play off on this one. Distance fire fight RRQ. They're parting onto it with a good angle to try and punish onto Flash. But a tuck in behind the vehicle.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's right up in their face, John. Taking it to them.
The wolves at the door, and they will echo with The sound of a shotgun shell, and now it's Lepar. He is in a 1 versus 1 technically. He's got a little bit of time here. Has Kelsey to deal with on the low ground. He finds it, and now there's only one more player up top for him to deal with, but the vehicle, the death departing explosion there, puts the final nail in. Lepar looking pretty good, but it is Ulf to find the chicken dinner and a place in the survival stage.
You see the excitement, the celebration, and the faces of defeat for some of our squads. They fought as hard as they could. For some, the journey ends. For others, it's just beginning with a battle for survival in our following stage. But for the lucky few, John, that were able to write history for themselves, they've guaranteed that opportunity to go directly through to the finals. In the space of 2 days, the competition has reached an enticing pitch already.
What a treat Group A has been. Group B, I'm hoping, is going to be similarly high octane. That would be fantastic. We've got 2 days of survival beyond that as well, where we'll see the returning middle cadre of teams that played in both of those groups as well, joining once again for another shot at those grand finals. And I think that there has certainly been some phenomenal turns of events here. 4 Thrives have proved themselves to be deserving of that top spot as well. From that PMGO season, people still sometimes had questions. Not me, never me, but some people certainly questioned, are they a mainstay team? Can they keep it going? The answer in this group, a resounding yes against some of the strongest teams in the world.
They've had such resilience, such beautiful individual skill as well with the plays we've seen from the entire roster, passing the baton at multiple times to guarantee themselves more and more inside of these battlegrounds. And I'm very glad that we'll get to see more from them. It's unfortunate we'll have to say goodbye to some of our teams, John, but the ones that go on to survival stage, they've earned that spot.
Absolutely. A big benefit of being in the top 5 as well is that you can really focus on analysis, on really practicing, on getting those strategies ingrained onto your team, as well as researching the other teams more through survival stage, whilst being able to keep your playbook a little bit more hidden. So for Orangutan, I am thrilled that they've been able to get up and into second place. A brilliant result for this roster that hasn't had as much international experience as a lot of the players down on the stage here. Phenomenal stuff. We're going to head down to the stage to make sure that we're locking in everything that needs to be done. Barney, what do you got?
Welcome back to the main stage. Of course, taking the top spot in groups from Group A is 4 Thrives, baby. What an amazing performance. The crowd are behind you. That's got to feel good. Now, IQ, let's talk a little bit about stepping into these 2 group stage days and dominating. How does that feel?
To be honest, we are not really proud of our performance because we missed a lot of chickens and we will improve in finals, inshallah.
Wow, okay. I mean, still placing in the top spot, but still things to improve on. I like that. Now, CRic-FIix, the expectations for you guys is pretty high, okay? Coming off the back of a PMGO victory, and now here, you guys must feel like you're in a really good position to take top spot. Did you exceed your expectations by placing first in group stage, or was this the plan the whole time?
I mean, it's amazing to finish #1 in group stages as well, but the main goal is finals, and our goal is to finish #1 in the finals. So we can win back-to-back championships and make our name in history.
I mean, speaking of making a name in history, the PMGO win, if you manage to secure the win at PMWC, and then in your home country, PMGO, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it, IQ?
Yeah, of course.
Of course it would be pretty good. Right, guys, we have something special to do, which I'm pretty sure you know. Follow me. We're going to go over to the Crusher. Now, as first place finishers, right here at the group stage for your group, you get to do the fun part. Now, I would like you to come and stand up here, all 4 of you, please, behind the awesome Crusher. Now, before we get into the meat of this, can I get you guys to budge around? Budge around a little bit. Budge around, move around, move around, move around. Now, before we get into the meat of this, we've got to say our commiserations, of course, but 3 teams underperformed here. And it's brutal, but it's fair. Gaming Stars, Thunder Talk Gaming, and of course X-Force Rejects will be eliminated from the competition. Is there anything that you would like to say to them before you crush their keys?
Sorry guys for crushing your keys, and bye-bye.
Sorry guys, and goodbye. All right, IQ, can you please press this button and that will turn on the crusher and reveal the teeth. Here we go, look at that. See you later, gaming stars. Okay, would you like to pull on this lever, crush the remaining keys, and send them into the elimination zone? 3, 2, 1, see you later. Was that satisfying?
Yeah, that's too much.
Too satisfying. Well, you might get to do it in the final with 15 keys. That's the plan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan. All right, Four Thrives, congratulations in placing first in Group A. We've got so much more PMWC action coming your way over the next few days. You can hear the crowd going nuts for Four Thrives. That's what we like to see here at PMWC. But for now, let's head back to the studio so that they can talk about everything that happened over the last 2 days of groups.
It's a sight that we're getting used to seeing. Four Thrives just dominating in, honestly, not being happy with their performance, Lace. That's insane.
That's crazy because they're the only team to hit triple digits, 107 points. 80 of those guys were actually eliminations. They had 0 chicken dinners. They had about 27 placement points, so that is about like a 2.25 average placement. So most of this was made up by pure firepower.
Yep.
But of course, they don't think that's good enough. And look, that's okay. They want to add the wins to that valiant effort as well.
Especially because we're going to have Smash Roll.
Especially you want to make sure you can actually get those chicken dinners.
But Max,
you know they didn't do it in PMGO Season 1.
One thing we shall not forget. Yeah, congratulations, Four Thrives. You're able to get that first place here for Group A. But this is the first time in a long time that we're going to have an India team at a global final.
So I want to take you guys back to the PMWL 2020 Eastern Region. Orange Rock, TSM entity, they made it to the finals and actually did really good back in that event. But now it has been 5 years, 11 months, and 29 days, and that streak has now ended as Orangutan make it to your PMWC 2026 Grand Finals.
And a great performance from that squad, if we're being completely honest. The way that they were able to perform yesterday was impressive in the way that they started off so slow and they were able to become aggressive. This is what we've been wanting to see out of the Indian teams, to match the aggressiveness that the global lobby is currently showcasing. They were able to do that, and they were consistent as well today. WizGod was able to actually get a lot of placement points for that squad in 2 matches.
He really was. It was so exciting to see. And you know what's even crazier, is that Orangutan, out of the 2 Indian teams that we have here, we have Godlike coming up in Group B. Orangutan is the more passive of the 2. Now let's just take a moment and let that sink in. Orangutan are the most passive of the 2 Indian teams here. They're in 2nd place. They've been going all over the place. They've been controlling the lobby. What is it going to happen with Group B? I'm scared for everybody else now.
I mean, I was scared after they got their first chicken dinner on Game 6 of day 1. I was like, okay, we need to see a continuation. I was not expecting a back-to-back win. Okay, that was definitely pushing it to the absolute limit. So they're confident. I hope they can bring that confidence into the next stage, which is going to be the Grand Finals. Very exciting. So Aru and the boys keep it going.
Yeah, they're definitely going to keep it going now. So we're going to be seeing the top 5. There you have it. Four Thrives, Orangutan, Aurora Gaming, Team Flash, and Enigma Galaxy. Woo! I'm happy to see that team go back to the finals. And another team that I actually have to give major props to has to be Aurora Gaming. This looks like the squad that we usually expect, Nectura.
It is. I was just thinking that. It's like, oh, finally, they're not just sneaking their way into the top 5 just by the skin of their teeth. Finally, we have a team that has presence here throughout the 2 days. Maybe a little less yesterday, but look, very even across the board. 30 points, 60 elimination points to make that 90-point total. So I'm really, really happy with this. It gives me a little bit of help for those finals.
Yeah, and a bit of a heartbreak, too, if we're looking at 6th place, Lays, because all esports, they were expected to go directly to the finals. It doesn't end up happening.
And sometimes expectations really do weigh down on you. And this team, has everything that it takes to be in those top 5. But of course, they just didn't really make those kind of macro decisions when it was necessary. So we did see them sort of fall off, and that brings through teams like Team Flash, who, like I say, throwing stuff at the wall, making it stick, but they adapted, they pushed through, and Ulf just kind of lost that momentum throughout there. Even Team GOAT, we could say the same type of thing, expecting massive things from them as well. I mean, still a valiant effort, definitely, but these teams, it is surprising.
Yeah, I mean, looking also on the first page for a quick second, we had 80 eliminations from 4 Thrives. They have 20 more eliminations than the second place at the squad in terms of eliminations, which is Aurora. Absolute raw domination from these guys. Though on the second page, heartbreak has been created for some of these squads. X-Force Rejects, Thunder Talk Gaming, Gaming Stars. That is the end of their adventure.
Can I just take you on a little bit of an emotional journey for
Let me get ready.
Rejects, guys?
Take us on it.
Now, I was watching Devil's little health bar surviving for so incredibly long in that last match. This was after they just obliterated Gaming Star. They set a trap on CRic-FIix, and the Shiva was able to escape, got picked off by 4 Thrives, and Devil's just traveling around in the vehicle trying to hold on for dear life, but obviously couldn't cement themselves and put themselves in that position. They were able to get 8 eliminations, and they just had to hold up for a little bit more placement, and they could have overtaken RRQ. But of course, that's not how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah,
that was such a sad story. I know.
It's not how the cookie crumbled for some of these teams. We saw that squads that are also going to be going to Survival Max. Besides Ulf, which team are you surprised by that is actually going to be going to Survival?
I mean, Ulf, of course, as you said, but Furia. Like, sorry, the opening day was just not there. But it's fine because you guess what? We got the Survival stage. And I think that this is a team that, despite being very aggressive, don't have a massive ego. I think they're willing to reconsider how they approach Pmwc. They took a massive L here multiple times this year, right? Not able to really quite make it to second or first place. We had PMGO Season 1. We had PMMI, the Macau Invitation. But you know what? I think here, Niptra, they're going to come back swinging with a vengeance in that survival stage.
Oh, absolutely. We definitely saw some really cool stuff coming in from them today, just a little bit too late. Yeah, so maybe survival stage, they'll just start that same track from the beginning and we'll have a much better result for them. Yeah, I think there's a couple of teams that we could really talk about because there was some definite surprises here.
Which other team surprised you?
For me, KR.
PMwc के 2026 के इस बड़े इवेंट में
to at a global event. I feel like with Group B coming tomorrow, make sure you guys tune in because Group B, I got a feeling, Lace, it's going to be a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, there's going to be a few teams that obviously we've seen, you know, other teams in their region perform incredibly well. And now we're going to have teams that beat them in their original region come to play in this lobby. So it will be incredibly spicy.
It will be spicy. Who's going to end up joining the squads that are now in the finals? Who will end up going to survival? And then we'll figure it out in Sunday. Who's going to get those keys crushed? This is, I feel like that is